Welcome to Nimin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we're answering your YouTube questions. When I say we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D. D, what's going on?
How was your week? How
Hey,
was
what,
your
man?
week?
Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy 4th of July, D.
4th of July for those of you in the United States of America.
Yes.
Hope you're shooting off fireworks and doing all kinds of dangerous stuff.
Yep, or at least that you will be this evening.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, hope you're having some cookouts, you're meeting up with some people, you're wearing some America merch. Right? Hope you're wearing some America merch and you're doing, all of those things as well. Jerry, it's funny because
That's what I said.
Dee also mentioned, hey, you should put me in a Uncle Sam hat today. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to do any hats today just to check something. And so I guess I should have done a hat.
I actually said, if you don't put me in an Uncle Sam hat for the 4th of July, I am not doing the stream.
Yeah.
I drew a line, and then he said, if you don't do today's stream, you are never streaming on this channel again. So I caved.
Yep.
So
And here we are.
We came to an agreement,
Yep.
and here we are. So I hope you had some milestones this week. Hope you had a great week.
Oh, that's great. And he mentioned that I did give you devil horns, though. So I guess those are
there's the devil
still
horns
there
again.
on that. Well, it's still just on the thumbnails that I was using. So it's funny. All right. So hope everybody's had a great week. Hope you are excited to learn about some YouTube stuff today. If this is your first time here, how this whole thing works is that we are answering YouTube questions about anything related to your YouTube channel. We'll take a look at your channel, give you some feedback on thumbnails, that kind of stuff. And also, if you have any questions about anything you're doing, we're here for that as well to help you navigate through some of the complexities of YouTube, because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff, that goes on when it comes to being a content creator. So we're here to help you with that. And another thing as well also that we are going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get into the news.
Get into
also,
the news.
That's
Get
right.
into it.
Shark Scrapper, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Beanie Draws, what's up? Jerry, what's up? Larry, what's up? Tan going in the kitchen. Nice to see you in here. Scale Train Station, what's up? So the very first thing on this list is that we talked about this yesterday, but I'm just going to mention it again, or not yesterday, but last stream. So I'm just going to mention it again really quick. But they have music and image posts in your YouTube Shorts, and we mentioned that last week, but just as a quick refresher there. YouTube is also rolling out centralized account status. So now most everybody here should have it. If you don't have it yet, you are going to have it soon. This is a global rollout to my understanding, and basically what this does is instead of you having to check things about your account in different places, it gives you just one centralized place to do that.
Check your account in different places.
As a part of this update, you're also going to see more info about your content right in your content list as well. So this is also something that's been rolling out already, but with this particular update, you are also able to just see additional information, even things like your monetization. You can see that right there in that grid.
Okay, I'm not in the loop on this, so what are we going to see differently than what we saw in the past?
Basically, you go to one place to look for everything.
Such as?
So just to see if you have any violations of anything or anything like that. So instead
show
of having to go through your entire content list and all that looking for problems, now everything's just in one spot where you can quickly go and you can check everything.
Somebody sat around and said, hey, you know what would be great?
If we just made this
if we
easier for
centralize this to make it easier for the creators on the platform.
Right.
And they said, we'll just run this up to corporate ladder and see. And it took them about 5 years to come to this conclusion. And then they said, you know what? It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So in addition to that, how many people here, out of curiosity, how many people here are using
shooting bottle rockets with your hands today?
Creator Mix? How many people here are using Creator Mix? So for those of you that are using Creator Mix, I am excited, thrilled actually, to let you know that Dee has added 3 more albums to Creator Mix, and I think you said you're adding another one here this weekend as well.
Yeah, well, there's actually a bunch of them coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, I have one more that's going to be uploaded.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
for those of you that are using Creator Mix, there are now 3 new songs,
albums
for you for Creator Mix there.
Another one coming up.
So because of that, just keep an eye out for those, and you can already go and you can get those inside of CreatorMix.com, and you can also preview them over on the Creator Mix YouTube channel as well. So for those of you that are already using it, you already know what it is, but for people that are not using it yet, What Creator Mix is it's a free music service that that we put together for content creators. So there's a big problem where, you know, people have trouble with, you know, copyright problems and things like that. So Creator Mix is built to help you solve those problems where you can use music. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff because it comes from us. It's all original and it's all human generated. There's zero AI music inside of Creator Mix, and that's the stance that that we're taking with Creator Mix.
Yeah, we're not going to add AI music to Creator Mix because it's not that I'm against AI music. It's that I don't want anybody to have problems in the future because we don't know what the legal battleground is going to turn into for AI creators in terms of making music and using videos and stuff like that. And I don't want people to use AI music, put it in their videos and think that it's safe. 6 months from now,
we don't know.
A year and a half from now, there's some new challenge because we're kind of into the wild, wild west in terms of AI and copyright and all of that. And I don't want it to end up backfiring and say, oh, well, you use Suno to make this and you can't actually monetize this. So if you have put this in your video, we're claiming all the monetization. I'm scared to death that could happen. So no AI music in Creator Mix.
Boom. So yeah, you can check that out at creatormix.com. In addition to that, I also want to remind people, if you are an active content creator, meaning you publish shorts, vertical content is specifically what it is that they're looking for. But if you are a content creator that publishes shorts on a regular basis and you want to give Opus Clip feedback, in exchange for that feedback, they are giving you access, free access to a tool that helps you automatically edit videos. So basically how this works, you load a video up into it, it chops the video down, adds graphics to it, that sort of thing. And then after it makes everything, then you can go in, you can customize the different things about the video. You can change text and, you know, things like that. And you can prompt their system to make whatever changes it is that you need as well, which is pretty awesome. So if you are publishing shorts on a regular basis, then you are a perfect candidate for this. And if you just publish shorts sometimes, you know, not so much. But if you're, you know, actively publishing shorts on a regular basis, then I'm going to drop a link right here into the chat for the producer.opus.pro. For those of you that are listening, is the URL. Again, that's producer.opus.pro. And with that, that will get you once you go there, they have an application, and then you apply there. They're going to look at your channel, make sure that you're publishing all those things, and then they will open it up and give you access to that. And again, this is free in exchange for feedback with the tool. So as you're using it, you just shoot them messages from time to time, letting them know your thoughts on it. And one other thing also, for those of you that are using AI, you're using tools like Claude, you're using tools like Codex, that sort of thing, and you're building out workflows. You are going to be excited to know that if you are an Opus Clip user, that they are also rolling out MCPs for Opus Clip and for Agent Opus and some of their other tools as well. So keep an eye out for those, as those are. I've got access to one of them, and I'm going to be playing with it this week. But as those are rolling out, of course, we'll keep you informed on those as well.
Jive Dancing says. Yeah. Do you have Happy Birthday music on Creator? No, somebody actually owns Happy Birthday.
Yeah, they do.
You can. I would love to make Happy Birthday, but yeah, somebody owns it. If we were to sing the Happy Birthday song right now, there's a high probability he would get a copyright claim on that. Somebody owns that. Somebody owns the birthday song.
They do. And one more quick thing that I want to mention here really quick is that when it comes to the Opus Clip thing, I have in my notes here to mention this because this is an important thing. So if you are a content creator and your channel's small, I know a lot of people might think that, well, if I do this application, they're not going to, let me in because I have a small channel. I just want to let you know that they don't care about channel size. They just care about if you're actively publishing or not. That's the only thing they care about. So actively publishing and you're willing to give feedback. So as long as you meet that criteria, then it doesn't matter what your channel size is. You can still get in on this. So I just wanted to give you the heads up on that as well. So if this is your first time here, since we are answering questions, I do want to let you know that we have a form down in the description where you can put your questions. As of right now, we have 0 questions. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and get it in there, and we'll get it answered on the stream today. If not, then Dee and I are just going to hang out and shoot the stuff.
We're going to shoot the stuff.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the music that we're putting in.
Yeah, go for it.
So we added another synthwave album. There's more synthwave coming. I added another lo-fi album, and there's a lot more lo-fi coming. And I added another to melodic techno album, which is...
What is melodic techno? Is that like EDM?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's EDM, but it's a particular type of it. It's really good. It's good. It's great. Like if you just want to I've been listening to this one, just trying to get stuff done. It's good focus mode stuff.
Okay, nice.
But
I listened to the lo-fi one, the Mellow 3. Yeah, I was listening to that this morning. Yeah,
nice and chill.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I'm also adding some. I've been getting requests for people wanting things that they can do yoga to, or they can meditate to, something they can put on that's really chill and not distracting in the background. So some of that is coming too.
Nice.
Beanie says, do you guys plan on having longer music in the 10-minute range? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, there's no...
I mean, the albums themselves are like longer. So, I mean, technically you can just do a playlist of the album, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you're using it, Beanie. Like, you're free to download the stuff and loop them if you wanted to loop them. What I've started doing on the YouTube channel, if you wanted to stream that instead in the background for the audio, is even if, for most of them, I'm trying to turn them into 1 hour long videos. So even if something's like 20 minutes, I'm trying to make longer mixes for a lot of them. And I'll be adding a lot more of those 1 hour and two hour mixes so that you can just go on and put that in the background if you want to stream that.
Nice.
So it's not one continuous song, but it's a collection of songs that'll get you through an entire live stream.
Nice.
Roger Wakefield in the
Hey, happy 4th of July,
house.
Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, happy 4th of July.
Happy
Nice to,
4th of July. I bet Roger's having a cookout today.
Bet he is too.
A red, white, and blue cookout.
Yep, I bet he is too.
With fireworks and bottle rockets.
Yeah, I think so too.
I bet you.
So really quick, I am going to take one question out of the chat here just because it came in here. This is from Limitless Kitchen. They say, how do I increase my impressions rate here on YouTube? So when it comes to the impressions that you're getting on your videos, first, step number one is making sure that the ideas that you're making videos about, that there is enough people that care about that idea in order to, want to watch and enjoy that video. That's step number one. Step number two is that when you publish your videos, you also have to get a good response in your videos. So what that means is when you publish a video on YouTube, they're going to show it to people. That's called an impression on YouTube, but you're already familiar with that language. So they're going to show your video to people, which is an impression. And then once they are showing your video to people, then, a certain percentage of those people are going to click on your thumbnail, or nobody's going to click on it, or, a bunch of people are, whatever it is. But they are measuring how many people are clicking on your thumbnail. And then from there, they're measuring how people enjoy your video once they get into it. So because of that, the way to think about YouTube and impressions and how all that stuff works is that everything is response-based. So if you publish something and people have a high response to it compared to the other videos that YouTube is showing those people, then your videos, it's going to do well. If you publish a video and the topic doesn't land, or just the video itself, isn't good once people get into it, then in that case, that video is not going to get legs and it's not going to do well. So because of that, when it comes to increasing impressions, it really comes down to, just fine-tuning those things in order to make sure that when YouTube does show your content to people, that they have a positive response to it. And there's a lot of nuance in coming up with ideas, making effective thumbnails, writing good titles, and making good video content. But those are the things that will dictate the impressions that you get on your video. Other things matter too. So like, for example, let's say that, during the World Cup, let's say that you published a video during the World Cup, YouTube system knows, hey, a lot of people are interested in the World Cup right now. There's a lot of people looking for things on World Cup, things like that. So since they have that heightened amount of interest around a particular topic in that moment in time, then in that case, YouTube's like, hey, all these people here are interested in World Cup. So when you publish that video on the World Cup, then YouTube's going to start showing it to some of those people because they've been actively, looking for it. So then you have that bigger market in situations like that as well. So those are the types of things that help with impressions. That's why when you're making videos on things like, just news and popular, topics and things like that, you're giving yourself a really good opportunity for growth on your channel because you're making videos, around those particular topics.
Roger says, of course I go overboard. Absolutely, I go way overboard.
Nice.
I figured you do.
And really quick, She Prep Smart says, I'm struggling with if I should use AI for my thumbnails. I need a Reddit thread, or I read a Reddit thread where everyone is saying they won't even click on it if it's AI.
Great question.
So
great comment.
Yeah. So keep in mind when it comes to that, there's
I'm
a
one
lot
of those people.
There's a lot of AI thumbnails that look like they're AI, and then there's a lot of AI thumbnails that you can't really tell that they're AI. Right. So because of that, it really comes down to the tool that you're using and your eye for that sort of thing. So far, the best ones that I found are Nano Banana, 1 of 10. Yeah. 1 of 10 is cool because they actually look at your YouTube videos and they will put you in the thumbnail from that without you having to upload any images or anything like that. So the cool thing about them is because they see that, like they'll pull in imagery from your set. If you're, if you record in, whatever location you're in, they'll pull in imagery from that and just other imagery from your videos in order to, make the thumbnail to where it's you. Like it's pretty incredible. But that's called 1 of 10. But Nano Banana is also good, and of course, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is good if you can figure out how to prompt it.
Yeah.
My stance on AI.
You just got to be really careful with ChatGPT because it
can go off the rails.
It makes noticeably ChatGPT made thumbnails.
Yes.
Yeah, and those are the types of things that people are not clicking on as. I mean, some people don't click on as much. So when it comes to me and AI thumbnails, like I don't care. Like if I think that it's going to be something good on the other side of it and the topic is there, then I'll click on it anyway. Like I personally don't care. But I'm into the AI stuff, so that's why.
My stance is this: if it looks to me like it is a low effort AI creation, I'm not clicking on it. Because you can
suggest the video is going to be low quality.
Right.
Yeah.
But it suggests the video might be low quality. And that's across the board. If I can tell if your book cover looks like a low quality book cover, an AI created book cover, I'm not going to buy your book. If your PDF that you're trying to get people to download looks like a low quality ChatGPT thing you put no effort into, I'm not going to download it.
Yep.
I think low effort anything is a representation of how you do things. Yeah. So in my brain, if you couldn't even put in the effort to figure out how to prompt this correctly so it didn't look so generic, then that's probably how all of your information is going to be. And you're probably going to read a ChatGPT script and you're probably not going to bother to humanize it. And you're going to sound like a robot like everybody else is sounding now. Yep. So that's my stance on it. That being said, you can use AI to create some stunning stuff, some original looking things. So I would urge anyone, if you are using AI to create graphics of any kind, do some research, learn how to prompt, learn how to use negative prompting so it doesn't go overboard. And when you figure out some good prompts, then you can, it always has a flavor of AI. Even the most amazing looking AI content still has that touch of AI.
Yeah.
There's just a touch to it, and I'm okay with that. It's the low effort, where it's like, that looks like every other AI generation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's why I won't click on. Hard stance on that one. Yeah. That's right, Roger. How you do everything is how you do anything is how you do everything. 100%, man. I look at it as a shortcut. And I understand that people are just getting started and maybe you don't have the skills to learn how to make graphics yet. I totally understand that. We've all been there. But I urge you to take the time to learn how to at least do some basic prompting just so you don't look like you're just low effort creating things. Because to me, that's the difference. Put the effort in.
Yeah, I think this is a good use case also. DIY Audio Guy says, I make my own thumbnails, but then sometimes I like to use AI to jazz up the background of some lightning bolts.
100%.
Fire. Yeah, like those types of things are awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it in reverse because I'm a Photoshop user. So what I'll do is I'll have, the AI make, whatever it is that I want it to make. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's something that I can kind of build this off of. And then I'll take that and then I'll build around it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like if you don't know how to make a thumbnail and you can just hodgepodge some stuff together. It's like, well, here's a picture of me and here's an idea. Throw that into one of the tools and say, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do with this. And then a lot of times it can come up with something really cool to where it doesn't overdo it. And it's still a hint of AI just looks a certain way. Hint of that, but that's fine. You've at least made some effort to make it look like yours.
Yep. Yeah, I saw some of your. Yeah, Shark Scrapper says my wife said that a recent 1 of 10 thumbnail with my likeness made me look scary. I saw one of your thumbnails and I thought you looked scary too. I was like, man, he looks really upset.
I reported your channel. It scared me so much.
Oh, it's great. So I'm going to jump into the questions here, and then we'll just go back and forth. I guess here in the chat, we'll see how it goes. But the first one here is from Shark Scrapper. He says he uploads 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. Infotainment content, goal of the channel is to make money. They do scrapping and recycling content. And the question is, my watch time by device consistently shows 30 to 35% for both TV and mobile. I've been recording and uploading at 1080p. Should I move to 4K for the TV viewers? I may need some higher capacity SanDisks. Any other file management issues I should consider if recording in 4K? Yeah, so if I was in your shoes, I would absolutely upgrade my camera to 4K. And the reason for that is so that you can just give people that better experience, right? So some people, they're not even going to notice or care based on their TV, but for the people that have TVs that let them notice that, then yeah, they're going to be able to see a difference. So yeah, I like, all my stuff is 4K for that reason, because I want to make sure that, with the exception of these live streams, because we have a limitation right there with the A10 Mini, but the cameras are all 4K, but the A10 Mini is our bottleneck right now with getting 4K streams going out. But as soon as we can solve that in a reasonable way, because you can get like super high end stuff that has 4K going out, but once we can do that in a reasonable way with the switchers, then this will be 4K also.
There's nothing wrong with lower resolution. A good video is still a good video. I will watch something in a lower quality video. I don't not watch something because it's 4K.
Would you watch a 360 video?
Hold on.
On your TV?
I was just going to say, but I don't watch YouTube content on my TV.
Oh, okay.
There's the change.
I watch it on a projector, so I care about those things.
Right,
Yeah.
Because so many people are moving to TV now. That's like the fastest growing market in consuming content, which is wild because it was mobile, and the TVs just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're muted.
Well, yeah, and that's how you go viral every time. That was it. I hope you caught that. I hope you were taking notes. I hope you were taking notes on that one, because I just gave the juice.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
gave the secret that no one wants you to know about.
That was great. Absolutely.
That was it.
Okay. Way
Hope
to
you
go,
guys
Keith.
wrote that down, because you're not going to get. I'll probably get sued for telling everybody that.
Probably will. Probably will. The secret sauce.
YouTube
Yep.
has been trying to silence creators for telling them that for a long time, and I just told you.
Yep.
So if I don't show up on this stream anymore, they got me.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
So Jive Dancing said they were reading your lips, so no worries. Yeah,
Okay.
they got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
you're good there. Magic Flying Potato in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. So next up on the list here, we have the Mandarino Adventures. Go
I
ahead,
just want to
Dee.
say, handle that information carefully, because if you don't,
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous information. It's like the dark arts of YouTube.
Yeah, you're sounding like some of the AI companies right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, it's super dangerous. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
So the Mandarino Adventures is our next question here. They upload one time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do Disney park content. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the target audience is for those planning a trip and planning one to the park to keep them informed. It says, do any of you have advice? I record on an Ozmo Pocket 3, and when I show an item, I tend to have issues pointing to the item when talking about it in frame. Sometimes it's like off frame. For example, if I'm showing a new shirt, it's part out of the frame. I've used the wide lens on that my camera comes with, but any other advice? I'd love a gimbal, and I do not want to go with a Sony handheld. So yeah, so if possible, if you are talking about like a shirt at Disney, then in that case, I would get extra B-roll of the shirt itself. So if it's something you're wearing and you have to be in it, then in that case, it's a little bit different. And I would set it down, a little bit farther away from you, and then maybe step back to show what it is that you are showing. And then that way you're ensuring that everything it is that you are, trying to bring their attention to is in frame. To where, if you're just doing it at arm's length, you're going to have limitations with, the what you can fit into the frame there. So because of that, I would, step back if it's something that you're wearing. But if it is something that, that you are showcasing that's inside of the park, like in one of the souvenir shops or something like that, then I would shoot individual B-roll for that and then work that into your videos as you're talking
Does
about
that particular camera not have a viewfinder?
It has a viewfinder, and it also has a wide-angle lens that they're using as
So
well.
what's the problem? I don't understand.
Yeah, it seems like they still might be a little bit too close. So basically, like even with that, like I don't know, because they mentioned like they'll be showing a shirt, and then the shirt's a little bit out of the frame. So I'm guessing that maybe at arm's length they're just not able to see enough. Is my guess.
Yeah, that's interesting, because if it has a viewfinder, you should be able to see it, unless you're saying it's malfunctioning and your camera is showing you one thing, but the footage is showing you actually something else.
Yeah.
That's a possibility if there's a defect in the camera.
It is, and angle is also something. So for example, like if the camera is here, then in that case it's just going to show here. But if you tilt it up and it's still looking down, then in that case it'll be able to see more, down that way as well.
Is this the Mandarino Adventures?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, it's too close.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with that camera.
I would set it down. I would get a small, lightweight, like stick tripod.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just like a stick like this, and it has like 3 little legs on the bottom. I wouldn't do some big heavy duty one, but I would do something like that. Just be careful if it's not windy. If it is windy, then maybe you need one that's a little bit more heavy duty. But by doing that, that will give you the option to just set it up for a moment, and then get the shot that you need, and then get back to it.
Yep. Or you could screw it to the bottom of it and stick it out, and you've got a foot and a half.
Yeah, right, that too.
A foot and a half out. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that camera. Does it not have wide angle lenses?
It has them.
Just not wide enough for
it's just not like a super wide. Yeah, it does widen it a bit. I was actually playing with the wide angle lens just the other day.
Okay.
And on mine, like when I put it on, it doesn't seem like it goes wide at all. Like it doesn't seem like it really does a lot.
Now here's $1 million question. Again, not familiar with the camera. Is there a setting in the camera where you have to tell it that there's a wide angle lens?
Probably.
Because a lot of these cameras, I know a lot of like some things you have to tell it, oh, there's a wide angle lens on this. Mm-hmm. So the optics in the camera has to compensate. Like, oh, a different lens. Yeah. I need to act a certain way. So it's possible there's a setting in there.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I know with mine, because I was just messing around with it, and then I saw the wide angle thing in there, and I hadn't put that on. So I was like, oh, I didn't even realize it was in there. And then I took it and I put it on, and I was like, it didn't really make much of a difference. Took it off and then just put it away. Didn't really think much about it.
If it's a setting.
But from this conversation, though, yeah, it might be a setting. I'm not sure.
Here's a question I'm grabbing out of the chat for clarification. Are we for?
Oh, he says you don't have to tell it. American English with Brent says you don't have to tell it. It changes it automatically.
Okay, that's good. For clarification, are we for or against AI?
For.
I'm
completely for AI.
Completely for AI. I am completely against AI slop and low quality AI. Yep. And I say that knowing that it's going to lead to an incident in the future where we're going to end up fighting the machines. Mm. I fully believe at some point there's going to be a catastrophe. And I'm still for AI.
So for AI, I think that but once you learn how to use some of these tools, they really help when it comes to just the efficiency side of things, and it gives you capabilities that you might not have otherwise, right? Like there's some people that, they're really, really bad at thumbnails. Mm-hmm. And if you're really bad at thumbnails and you have this tool available to where you can take the really bad thumbnail and instead you can turn it into a thumbnail that is a little bit more or a lot more effective, then it makes sense to use that tool that's going to help you make an effective thumbnail, right? So because of that, I think that, in that regard, I think that AI is absolutely, something that people should be considering. Other things too, if you're somebody that has trouble when it comes to like looking at your stats and really making, informed decisions around your stats, you don't have to have it make the decisions for you, but you can use it for feedback on things that are happening. So, for example, inside of your advanced mode analytics, you have the option where you can download a CSV. And that is a spreadsheet of your analytics. So you can go in there and you can click the little plus icon that's in your advanced mode analytics, and you can just stack it up, right? And you can just be like, okay, I want every single metric that is available here for this view. And then you can save that, and then you can go to different views, and you can do this in your audience retention reports. You can do it, in per video level, channel level, everything. Whatever date ranges it is that you want. And you can download all these different spreadsheets, and you can load them into ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and you can have them give you reports and just give you information that you might have trouble uncovering yourself. So, for example, you can be like, hey, do you notice any performance differences in, the topics that I'm talking about, anything that I might be overlooking? And just those types of things, it might be able to give you some insightful information. But here's something that I need to warn you about.
But here's the part nobody talks about.
When it comes to AI, even Ask Studio is throwing people off of the rails.
Cover this.
Yeah. So when it comes to Ask Studio is wrong a lot. So if you don't know and you're in Ask Studio and you're messing around, I actually made a video about this, but I deleted the video and I didn't publish it because it was just such a, it was just a really negative video towards like YouTube for letting people, use this thing and for, the whole thing was super negative. So I just deleted it and figured I would talk about it here. But when it comes to that particular tool, it gets things wrong a lot. So one example, I'm going to give you just a couple of examples, but one example is I was talking to it about YouTube Shorts, and it still had the information, and this was like a week ago, it still had the information that YouTube Shorts were locked into 60 seconds or less when YouTube has expanded that to 3 minutes. In addition to that, it had like date ranges wrong. It had, I have a bunch of screenshots of errors of it giving me information. And because I've been doing this for a while, I can identify, the things that it's telling me wrong. So basically it gives me information and then I'm like, no, that's not right. It's this. And then it's like, oh, typical AI. You're right. Sorry about that. And then it tries to give me like a fixed version of it. And it's really bad. So it's so bad that there have been content creators that it's told to like delete content. And they delete content because they believe this tool because it's coming from YouTube, and they delete the content, and then they're having another conversation with it after the content's been deleted for a bit or unlisted, and then it's like, oh no, you shouldn't delete the videos, you should put those videos back, and then they publish everything again all at once because that's what it's telling them to do. So you have to be really, really careful when you are using any AI tool, but even the one inside of YouTube. And the reason that I made that video is because it comes from YouTube and it comes from Google. So by default, as a content creator, you're probably thinking, hey, this is their stuff. This is on their, like their system is looking at my data and all of that. And it's amazing. And it can give you some interesting information. However, it can also steer you in the completely wrong direction that isn't the right thing, and it can give you some really bad advice. So because of that, be extremely careful when you're using these tools. And if it gives you information, before you make any big decisions around the information that it gives you, just research, right? And be like, okay, is this something, hop on Google, maybe make a Reddit post about it, or, cross-reference it across, different AIs, whatever the thing is. But look into it, or dig in if it's something YouTube related, dig into your own channel to verify the information that it's giving you before you make any big decisions, because it's definitely something that you can't fully trust yet. And I personally think that YouTube is being irresponsible by making that available, because a part of the whole thing with this, and I'm going to see if I can access these screenshots through my cloud really quick.
Okay.
But one of the things when it comes to this, I'll know it's in my external, I think. Yeah, but one of the things when it comes to this is that because it's coming from YouTube, if you're a content creator that doesn't have experience, you're probably trusting it because it comes from YouTube and Google, right? And I think that's where the problem is. So it's not necessarily that it's an AI tool giving the wrong information. It's an AI tool that's giving the wrong information that people are trusting because it's coming from the source. And because of that, I think that they're kind of doing people a disservice by making it available. But one of the screenshots that I was going to show you is about when you are using Ask Studio. Here, I'll just get it the old-fashioned way. I'll just actually go in and just grab it. So when you're using Ask Studio, they put this little disclaimer down here at the bottom, and I'm just gonna highlight how ridiculous this is. So when you are, let me just share this here really quick. Yeah, so when you are using Ask Studio, so for those of you that that haven't used this before, when you're using Ask Studio, this is it right here, and you can see this little tiny disclaimer right down here in the bottom, right down here. See this? So you have this little tiny little disclaimer here, and even if you make it bigger like this, the disclaimer is still super tiny, and it says, AI can make mistakes. You are responsible for the content you publish, right? Cool, I get it. That's YouTube saying, hey, we are removing responsibility from ourselves if you take what our AI says and it ends up messing up, what it is that you're doing. But the thing that I want to show you here, and this is the thing that I thought was interesting, and I think it's right here. Hold on. If not, then I'll have to mention it another time. Okay, right here. So with this right here, it says, by interacting with Ask Studio, it will collect data around your usage of the feature, including your conversations and feedback that you submit. And this is the part that bothers me. This data will be used to develop and improve the product experience, right? So the reason that bothers me is because when it comes to YouTube, they are basically making this available to inexperienced content creators. They can figure out the questions that people are asking and things like that. So I understand that side of it, but I don't think that I don't think it's the best thing to do, because what they're doing is they're using all of that to actually train their system, even though their system can give people the wrong information. So that is the thing that's the thing that really bothers me about this, is I think that it's not ready yet for people that are going to take what it tells them as information that they should run with. So that's my whole beef when it comes to their AI tool. So on that note, the next question that we have here is from Hair by Juju. Hair by Juju does bi-weekly content. They do hair content. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, how can I improve impression rate? Okay, so we already answered this one. But one thing that I want to mention, because you said who is your target audience and who it is that you're trying to reach. That's one of the questions. Excuse me. It's one of the questions that we have. And your answer to that is everybody. So just a heads up, when it comes to YouTube, it is best practice to make sure that you are being intentional about what it is or who it is that you're trying to reach with your content. Because if you're not, then it becomes really difficult to reach people with your content. Because then what ends up happening is you end up, not making content for anybody really. And it makes it to where it's hard for people to identify that your content's for them. It makes it hard for people to want to come back. It makes it hard for people to want to be involved with, what it is you're doing, all that stuff. So because of that, just be really careful, when it comes to that targeting. But yeah, so in terms of the impressions, I'm just going to look at your channel here real quick, and we might be able to give you some quick tips on this as well. So let me see what it is that you're doing. Okay, you're focusing on the hair, so that's good. Twist out tutorial, get these results. Yeah, so other things that you might want to do here, I'm just going to pull this up here really quick just so, you can see it. Yeah, so right here where you have twist out styles, rubber band method, hands brush, all that stuff. I think with the thumbnails, I think these are okay, but one thing that I would definitely do is I would experiment with, maybe a little bit more of a headshot just to see if it makes a difference or not. But the place where I think you're going to end up falling short is the length of some of these. Like a 51-second video, you probably should have made this one a YouTube short. And then here, this one's 2 minutes and 21 seconds. So this one, is a little bit better in terms of people being able to go in there and, watch it for a little bit. But these right here, even though, they'll add value to your viewers, which is good. And it shows them how to, solve this problem quickly. But the downside is that for the other hair channels that are making videos like this that are, collecting real watch time from viewers, you're probably going to have a hard time long term, competing against them. And even right here on your own channel, you can see here, this one didn't do as good, but still you have 903 videos. Oh, this is like 4 years ago. Okay, hold on. 3 weeks ago. Okay, so you're just coming back. So you have like 2 videos 3 weeks ago. So yeah, so in your case, if you want to get more impressions, another thing is uploading videos on a regular basis as well. You might be doing shorts, but uploading videos on a regular basis is also going to help you get more impressions, because when you're uploading more, then you have more new content for YouTube to test. 6:30. Still waiting for some of these to come through. 6:29. So okay, so it looks like you've been making shorts, which is fine. So yeah, so in your case, I would definitely, if you're trying to get more impressions on the long form, then in that case, I would definitely, be publishing more than 2 videos in 3 weeks and then not publishing anymore. Because when you're publishing, like one of the really cool things that happens when it comes to YouTube is when you're publishing videos on a regular basis and you're consistently putting out new content, is that new content is getting tested around YouTube in front of new viewers. And as people are coming in and YouTube's detecting that they're enjoying it, then YouTube will also go and look in your archive and they'll be like, hey, they might watch this video too. And then they'll show them that video. So it gives you the opportunity to also breathe life into other videos on your channel that people have responded better to, instead of, just kind of letting everything, kind of die in between those super long uploads. If you were getting like a really big response on the videos, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, things like that, it gives you a little bit of burn time when it comes to that happening, because all of those people are interacting with your content, which is cool. And then those are all new, not all new, but those are people that YouTube can, recommend that additional content to based on, a percentage of those people being identified as people that really enjoyed your content. And Eric Waite says, pro tip, think of the niche of your channel like a restaurant. Focus on a particular cuisine. Don't try to make Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian food, hamburgers, etc. Pick one and focus. Absolutely. Absolutely. So next up on our list here, we have EVS MOK EATX. EV Smoke ATX. I'm not sure of the name there. But the upload cadence is 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do EV racing, Tesla, EV talk. Goal of the channel is to make money. And they say that they do tech, racing, but more to come. And the question is, how can I fix my channel after I stop paying for promoting videos in the past and consistently losing subscribers after I stop paying? So just as a heads up, nobody here should be using YouTube promotions unless you're actually selling something. So YouTube promotions, this is another thing that I think YouTube is doing a disservice to people, because if people don't know this, then they are using it, expecting it to, be beneficial, but it ends up not being beneficial, for them at all. And it just takes their money and then resets them back to zero if they haven't, learned the fundamentals of coming up with good ideas, packaging those ideas, and then making content that, people enjoy enough that YouTube's going to keep showing, the content to people. But basically when it comes to, hold on, let me refresh this. Okay, internet's still working. I'm having trouble with my YouTube right now. Give me 1 second. Are we still live? Yep, okay, we're still live. Okay, so while I'm trying to get this to load, we're just going to talk about it, because they might be pushing an update or something. So when it comes to YouTube promotions, the reason that you shouldn't be using YouTube promotions unless you're selling something is because when you use YouTube promotions, what happens is you publish a video, you run a promotion on it, YouTube's going to show it to people, and you're going to have some people respond to that. The problem happens when you stop paying, but you still haven't learned the fundamentals of getting people to respond to something. And then YouTube's going to show your content to some of those people. And when they show them to those people, they're still not going to respond because you haven't learned the fundamentals of how to get people to respond to content. So because of that, the promotions tab can really work against you when you're using the promotions tab to try to, grow your channel. That's not what it's for. If you are selling something, you're a marketer or something like that, and you have something that you're trying to sell or trying to get people on an email list, you found a video that converts well, and you're like, hey, let's ramp this puppy up. That's where promotions come in. But even with that, you should do like a different channel for it, so you don't have, all of those people, interacting with your, main content. But if you are going to use them, like that's the use case for it. It's not to try to grow your YouTube channel. So just keep that in mind. But let me see if let's hit your videos tab here. Okay, there we go. So in terms of the question here, where you mentioned, basically you're paying and now you're losing subscribers after you stop paying. That's also a really common thing when it comes to people using YouTube promotions as well. So they'll use YouTube promotions. It'll inflate their subscriber counts, inflate some view counts on the videos that they're promoting. And then as soon as they stop paying, then everything kind of, collapses. So yeah, just be really careful about that. But the way that you're going to find your way out of this is you are going to, just get really clear on, like you're clearly reaching people that are into EVs. Like, let me, pull this up real quick. You're clearly reaching people that are into EVs with the content, right? So you're doing the right thing there by making videos about things that they care about. So the next thing is just making sure that you are focusing on the right things in the thumbnails, which, for example, here you're, a clear focus on the cars, which is cool. Here you got some cars in here, but you're kind of polluting everything with like text and the face and all that. But this right here will probably grab some attention. Here, another thing where like this person's in the focus, but the car is all secondary for everything. Like you have the word EV in here, right? Like these are going to grab people's attention. But if you really want to, step it up a notch, instead of, focusing on the people here, I would focus on the actual vehicles. If you start having, a lot of regular return viewers, that sort of thing, then in that case, that's where, putting yourself in the thumbnail and then having, like you in the thumbnail over on this side, and then the car, the car imagery over on this side, or vice versa, so that, the people that are already familiar with you can recognize you, and then the people that are into the cars can recognize the car, right? But even with that, through A/B A/B testing and all that stuff, you might find out that, you know, your audience responds better with you in the thumbnail or without. But those are definitely things to just think about and make sure that you're focusing a lot on the actual car imagery. It's pretty cool. I didn't know they were drag racing. Teslas though. But another thing when it comes to your thumbnails is you also want to kind of simplify everything. Because here you've got like a picture going on over here, picture going on over here, picture going on over here, picture in the background. You got, you know, text up here, more text over here. Like what you want to do when it comes to your thumbnails is you want to have like a central focus. Like, okay, if this shows up on a home page, I've got, you know, a second maybe to grab their attention. So because of that, if I have a little bit of time to grab their attention, how can I do that in the most efficient way? Give them less to look at and give them more to focus on, right? So that means removing a lot of the extra text clutter and things like that and really focusing it on the things that actually matter. So for example, like the Who Dominates, you probably don't need that. A very spicy tuned plaid, you probably don't need that. The EV smoke plaid, probably don't need that. You could probably just do car versus car, and that would be enough, right? So the whole idea is just kind of like you did over here. But the idea is just to focus it on the things that the viewers that you're trying to reach care about. And really quick, David Matney, thanks for the super chat. Says, if a video or live stream is on a hot streak, do you dare tweak it with a very slight change to the title or thumbnail with an A/B test? If it's like going viral, then if you don't get a lot of content like that, then in that case, I would let it ride for a little bit before you go and you start tweaking it. But if it's like, you know, if it's getting, you know, a clear lift and it's, you know, farther than your regular videos are, but it's not going like completely viral, then in that case, if you're like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure that if I, you know, make this a little bit more clear that people are going to respond to it better, change it and then monitor it, right? Because, you know, you're getting impressions, you know, everything's happening on the video. So make that change and then start looking at your real-time stats. And then, you know, check back in your real-time stats, you know, every hour. And then, you know, if you notice people aren't responding as well, then change it back. If you notice you're getting a lift, then in that case, you made a good call. Technically, you can do, you know, the A/B tests, but if something's, you know, taken off, then in that case, I would just, you know, make the change and then just watch it in the real-time stats because you're going to be getting information, you know, fast enough in order to make that call. Let's see here. Yeah, so it looks like your shorts are really doing the lifting on the channel for right now. So, and this is on the Tesla channel. Yeah, it looks like the shorts are doing a lot of the lifting, and people aren't really responding as much to the long form yet. So keep in mind, this pulls the view count. This doesn't pull the engaged view count, so it would actually be a little bit lower than this, but still, it looks like people are responding to these better right now. So yeah, I would just spend your time right now just on topic selection and packaging. And then from there, you know, as you get more people coming in here, then of course, you can look at your audience retention reports and all that stuff, you know, as people are coming in. But I would definitely simplify what's going on with your packaging and try to make these as interesting as you can too. Like I see here that you have the EV Smoke ATX. I'm not sure what that is, but if you have EV Smoke ATX in here because it's your channel name, take that out. Make this about the viewers, not about you. Make it about the viewers and what's happened in the video, not about you. Because right now, and I see you've got 15,000 subscribers that came over from Shorts, but if you want to grow the channel, then you need to make sure that you are thinking about people that are not familiar with this language. So what you're doing right here, this is really common, you know, where people do that sort of thing. And if I am making that connection correctly in terms of, you know, you're saying that you did this, yeah, I would not do that and instead make it about the cars. So this whole idea, it's anchoring, right? So what you're doing is you're anchoring the thing that people already know about in order to lead them into things that they might not know about, right? So an example that I like to give for this, and I'll use a travel example for this because it's just really easy to make sense of. So in Thailand, right, there's a small area called Mae Hong Son, right? And if a travel vlogger is making a video about that particular area and they publish that video, not a lot of people are going to even know what that is. So some people are going to click on it. Some people are just going to be curious. They're going to click on it and see, what's going on. But the idea is when people are, making a video about something that is more unique, or not unique, but just less known like that, then it's harder for people to connect with it. But if they made a video and titled it, or the same exact video about that place, but they titled it, I found this amazing hidden place in Thailand, then Thailand would be the anchor there, because a lot more people know about Thailand than people that know about Mae Hong Son, right? So because of that, when you use the strong anchors like that, it just gives you that opportunity to capture people based on things that they connect with, right? And Roger here says that the ATX is Austin, Texas. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the channel name up here is EV Smoke, and I think that this is their car, I think. That's how I'm interpreting this anyway. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it looks like is happening here. Like it's their car against theirs, maybe, is kind of what I'm picking up here. But the fact that we're having to figure this out, right, is an indicator that that this could definitely be generalized a bit in order to make it a little bit more make it a little bit easier for people to understand from the outside. Shark Scrapper, thanks for Super Chat. Says, I just noticed the shows tab. Have you looked into this yet? I'm thinking late night scrap with the shark. Yeah, so that's popping up on some channels. Everybody doesn't have that yet, unless that's part of the rollout, and that's why people don't have it yet in terms of some of the updates that they're making in the back end of everybody's channels. I've had it on my channel for a few weeks now, and yeah, so with the shows, basically what you get with that is you get new artwork. So just like you get new artwork with a podcast, right? And then that also shows up over in Apple Music. So with the shows, what you do there is you also get to create new artwork and all that stuff, but you get the advantage of also being able to do episodes, and you can do seasons and those types of things with it. But then YouTube is also going to present them as shows through that artwork. So think about it like, when you log into Netflix and then you have like shows on Netflix, same exact idea. To where, people are going to be looking for that show, and it's not necessarily like, hey, I'm making this thumbnail that is, going to, be the thing that's going to grab all the attention here. It's like, okay, this show, I'm going to, get people familiar with this show, and they're going to want to keep coming back and watching this show. So the whole idea with it is when you put the shows together, you are also supposed to do repeatable things. So for example, you have your repeatable intro that you do, and then you have a repeatable format that you take, and then you create this experience for people to where it's a familiar experience as they're going through it, just like all the regular shows that you watch on TV and, on the internet. So the idea with the shows is that it gives us, the creators, the opportunity to make shows, which I think is pretty cool.
I think it is cool.
Yeah, I think like travel channels, I think that
anybody who's making episodic style content that can make a show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Roger.
Right.
Roger.
I was thinking about him too.
Roger's just cleaning house on everything that he does. Mm-hmm. But when I think about Roger and that type of content that he's making,
he would kill a show. I bet he would absolutely kill it.
Yeah, and especially with his personality. Something like a Micro Dirty Jobs or like a This Old House but with plumbing or something like that.
Yep.
Just a fascinating channel.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also if they're done right, I think that shows are also going to create like an elevation on certain content creators. Because there's like, the YouTube side of things and the way that people perceive YouTubers. And then there's going to be the show side of things where people are going to have those more, I'm not going to say meaningful because that's not it, but where people are going to have a different type of connection to creators that are making shows.
Yeah, Roger, I know you're probably stretched in terms of everything you've got going on. And if I'm not mistaken, I think at one time you were looking into a show on TV somewhere, but I think that's a big opportunity for you. And here's the thing we know about YouTube: when they have something new, they tend to wait it a little bit.
Right.
And it just makes sense. I mean, if you checks in the mail.
Well, it's also
man.
It's also inventory. So like if you're offering shows and there's only X amount of shows on the platform, then those shows are going to get the priority because they're the only ones available.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing is this, I mean, the writing is on the wall. You have a significant portion of viewership now on TV, and it's only increasing.
Right.
That's where viewership is going. Like it or not, that's where viewership is going. And what do people do when they sit in front of their TV? They don't want to, I mean, people do watch shorter content, but generally they like to binge watch stuff. They like to sit down and watch a 30-minute video. over dinner. Or if they into the night, and if they have time, maybe they'll watch a second thing. So I think this is where episodic content comes into place.
Yeah.
The travel channels, cooking channels, fix-it channels, DIY channels, all the stuff where you can just sit down. I mean, you can technically do that now with playlists, but treating it as a show, I think just adds another layer of authority and authenticity to the thing that you're doing. Because you're no longer just a YouTuber; you have a show.
Right.
And I know that sounds like a small thing, but
it's a huge thing.
That's
in my
right,
opinion.
but it's a
Yeah.
huge right.
Yeah.
It sounds small, but when you think about, where YouTube is heading and where viewership is and where it's going to keep expanding, it's huge when you think of it that way.
Yep. And also, like when it comes to creator confidence.
Yeah.
If you have somebody and they're like, "Hey, what do you do?" and you're like, "I'm a YouTuber," that's one thing. And if you're like, "Hey, what do you do?" and you're like, "Oh, I have a show."
Yeah.
That's a different thing too.
Yeah.
So it allows you to present yourself in different ways
Yeah.
based on, the circumstance and all that stuff too, if you're somebody that's insecure about that.
Yeah. Hey, what do you got? Well, you know what? Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., I watch Flushed with Roger Wakefield.
Right.
And I cannot
Flushed.
wait.
Oh my
I
God.
cannot wait until the next show of Flushed.
That is great.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Flush.
Totally.
Wow, that's good. Yeah.
Right?
Love it.
Check, Roger, hook me up. Just a small piece of the franchise, buddy.
Flush. Oh. Oh, it's great.
Just bounce stuff off me, man. Just call me. I'm good at ideas.
Yeah.
I'm an ideas guy.
Yep.
I'm a think tank guy.
Yep. So,
Hey, Sue, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Danian Bright, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize
Yes.
if not.
Going
Uploads
down
one
the drain.
uploads one time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do Generation X lifestyle / advice content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator.
that.
And the question is, just uploaded a long form 8-minute video yesterday and it's tanked. Is July 3rd a bad day to post because of the 4th American holiday? Primarily my audience is US, Canada, and UK. No, it's fine. It's morning over there. And yesterday, like some people get extra days off, and it's a longer weekend, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's perfectly fine in terms of posting on July 3rd.
I'm such a fan of Generation X content where they talk about nostalgia and just say things that you just like, oh yeah, we did that. We totally did that. Hey, Gen X. Who's Gen X in the chat? The Teflon crew. The indestructible crew. Before helmets and seatbelts.
Tango in the Kitchen says the mystery of cooking for like a show name inspired by NCIS. When I saw that, I saw the misery of cooking.
That's what I saw.
Is that what you saw too?
The misery
yeah, I
of
saw
cooking.
the misery of cooking. And I'm
That's
like,
what I saw.
that's interesting. I wonder what that would entail.
The misery of cooking.
Yeah.
That sounds like me in the kitchen.
right.
Oh,
like, oh,
really
here's
scrambled
another
eggs?
thing. Yeah.
Really? Oh my God, I hate making scrambled eggs again. Burning myself on everything,
Yeah.
spilling everything. Listen, when I'm in the kitchen, nothing pours right for me. Like we have all
Really?
these things, and I spend all the money to get stuff with like spouts on it and all the right little thing. Nothing pours right. Nothing. Nothing whisks the way it's supposed to whisk. Nothing's non-stick the way it's supposed to be non-stick. Nothing pours the way it's supposed to pour. Nothing mixes the way it's supposed to mix. I follow the instructions. I buy the stuff, and nothing. Just keep me out of the kitchen.
Blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
the moral of the story. Gen X. Gen X represent. Look at this.
So next up, we have La Atua First. I hope I'm saying that correctly. They upload one time per week or more, but on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a Christian-centered return to God and come to Jesus channel. The target audience is people who are looking for Jesus. And the question is, I've recently had great traction, increase in subscribers on my channel, purely through my shorts. LF. What was that? Hold on. LF. Is that the name of the channel? Oh, okay, LF. I'm guessing that's the channel because you said that LF was my primary game plan in the beginning of starting this channel, but I think that I need to switch to shorts. Oh, long form. Okay, got it. This seems to be what people are responding to, although I only have 1 or 2 posted long forms on my channel. Do you think I should switch to shorts for this channel specifically to increase subs or visibility? Thank you. You are all awesome. So when it comes to shorts versus long form, so you not getting a response on long form, in my opinion, if you want to do long form, isn't a reason to give up on long form. It's a reason to figure out how to do long form in a way that people will respond to it. Because, if people aren't responding to it right now, it just means that, that you got to figure out how to get people to respond to it. And if you're willing to go through that with long form content, like you can reach a lot of people there, just like you can reach a lot of people that are watching YouTube shorts. So a couple things are a little bit misleading when it comes to shorts. So the very first thing is just the view counts by themselves. So when it comes to YouTube Shorts, it's important to make sure that you're always looking at the engaged views on YouTube Shorts instead of the views, because the views are just impressions. A view on a YouTube Short is YouTube showed it to somebody. It's not YouTube, or excuse me, it's not that people watched that video and enjoyed it, right? So when it comes to the view counts, you want to look at engaged views, not just views. But if you're making shorts, people are responding, keep making shorts. But if you, as part of your goals and what you're trying to do with the YouTube channel, if you are wanting to use long form content, then by all means, figure out how to do long form content. So, just like anything else that you're going to do, YouTube comes with the learning curve, and shorts seems easier because shorts just show up on people, right? They show up in different places on YouTube where people can make the choice to click on them as well. But when it comes to the shorts feed, where people get most of their initial views, when your videos show up there, it feels good because YouTube is just showing your content to people. They just show up in somebody's feed instead of you having to have an idea that's good enough to click on, a thumbnail that'll capture their attention, a title that's compelling enough to click on, all those things, and then, capture somebody's attention for the video. It's just a different experience that you're giving people over in long form. And because of that, there are more obstacles that you have to overcome when it comes to learning how to make good long form content. So because of that, if you believe that long form will help you achieve your goals, then in that case, I wouldn't just give up on it because it's currently not working. Instead, especially when you only have 2 on the channel, instead, I would say, okay, it's been working. What do I have to do to get this to work? Right? Like, what do I need to get better at in order to be able to capture people's attention, in order to be able to come up with good video ideas for this audience I'm trying to reach? Like, what do I got to do? And I would lean on those things.
We have a lot of Gen Xers in the chat.
Nice.
I know that if you're Gen X and you don't have a YouTube channel, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think so too.
Because for a couple of reasons. Yeah. First of all, you remember you were born before the internet. Mm-hmm. And that within itself gives you a different perspective on everything. Mm-hmm. You were born before this digital craze. You've had some just crazy stories, and you lived it. If you're still alive after growing up in the 70s and 80s, like you lived some stuff. And I think through that, I've never met a Gen Xer who generally cared. Like stuff just seems to bounce off us. So I think you had the right temperament and the right attitude to go into YouTube to where comments aren't going to bother you, or this didn't do so well, so I need to learn from it and just do better the next time. I just come in from a grounded perspective, and you've lived.
Yeah, it looks like these shorts are a lot of AI content here on this channel as well. At least it's what it looks like here from the short, which is fine. No, no.
Okay.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of AI generated stuff. So here, next up on our list here, we have Coding Pulse 24. They upload every other day, been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do coding content, goal of the channel is to make money. The target audience is coders. And the question is, can you check my channel? I'm really confused about whether I should continue with it or not. It's an AI-focused channel where I create content using AI. Lately, my views have been dropping, and I'm starting to wonder if it's still worth continuing. I'd really appreciate your honest feedback. Based on my channel and content, do you think I should keep going, or would it be better to change my approach and move in a different direction? So before I look at the channel, because I am going to look at the channel, but before I do, really the answer to this question is, how important is the goal of making money from your YouTube channel to you? Is it important enough that you will persevere through learning how to do it when it's currently not working, right? Mm-hmm. Like if it's important enough, then you'll be like, okay, this is going to be an avenue that's going to help me, be able to meet my goals. So one way that I encourage people to look at YouTube is that sometimes it can take a while. And since it, can take a while sometimes, I encourage people to look at it kind of like people look at universities where, they go through, 4 years of school in hopes that they're going to get out and get a decent job. And a lot of times they do, but, sometimes they don't either. So I think when it comes to looking at your YouTube channel, looking at it through a similar lens without having to go into, a bunch of debt for it, looking at it through a similar lens where you're like, okay, this is something brand new. Never done this before. I'm competing with literally the best content creators on the planet, literally the best media outlets on the planet. I'm competing with like all of these things for attention. So because of that, I need to go through the process. If this goal is important to me, if it's really important to me and I'm going to use YouTube for it, I'm going to go through the process of learning how to do this so that I can, use this as a way to achieve my goal. And one thing I can tell you from doing this for, 11 years is that YouTube is an amazing way to, achieve a lot of goals when it comes to monetization, bringing attention to things, positioning yourself in certain ways, things like that. YouTube is a powerhouse for those types of things. But one of the things, I'm going to pull your channel up here real quick. So one of the things is that, and yeah, Fable's back. Shout out to them for that.
Fable's back.
But basically, so I see that you're doing like these memes and things like that, and you're kind of committing to this. One thing that I would do is right now, while you are, kind of getting going on this channel, is I would do a lot of experimentation. So it looks like you've committed to a style here, and it's currently something that isn't working. So because of that, since it's not working, I would be doing a lot of experimentation right now. In addition to that, you are helping people be able to identify this thumbnails about something that they care about by having the different AI logos in here and stuff like that. But a lot of these are overtaken by things that will help people actually overlook these thumbnails. So with the Fable 5 one, like this one's good, I think, because it has Fable 5 up here and then Claude over here on the left. But, like this computer isn't necessary. Really, this isn't even necessary. And I understand that you're probably doing this for like a branding, reason or whatever. But I wouldn't, I would just have like Claude on here and then Fable 5 is back, exclamation mark, and then just have the focus there. I would even do I would experiment with either just an all white thumbnail or all cream color, Claude color, background with just the Claude logo in the back and then Claude right here. And then Fable 5 is back, exclamation point, in the same Claude brown there. And just make that to where if somebody like myself that uses Claude for coding, to where if this showed up on my homepage, I wouldn't gloss over it thinking that it's like a comedy video or a meme video. Instead, I would know at a glance that this had something to do with something that matters to me, right? So same exact thing goes for this one where you have Midjourney. This whole thing is framed around if doctors are cooked or not, right? So if you're framing the whole thing around if doctors are cooked and that's what people are, see first, you have to look around a little bit to see the Midjourney, right? There's another one focusing on Midjourney, and then Midjourney has a new side quest, death. Even with this, I get that you're trying to be, clever here. But instead of being clever right now, I would just try to, for right now, I would try to write titles that are going to inform the viewers about what might be in the video, right? Because here you have, Midjourney has a new side quest, death, which is, might be clever, but it's not clear at all. So I would focus the imagery here more on Midjourney and the logo of Midjourney. And then when it comes to the title itself, try to make this more clear about what somebody might get out of this video. Because I'm the person I'm one of the people that you're trying to reach with this. And if this showed up in my home feed, one, I wouldn't even notice it probably. But two, just based on how this is framed, I don't have any information. The only thing I know that this has something to do with Midjourney, but there's nothing else about this that stands out to me and that would help me be interested in this video. So because of that, I would make sure that you're working on clarity right now and just focusing people on, the things that matter. So here you've got the dollar amounts up here, which those things can grab attention. And then you have all of the different logos here and all that, which is fine. But I think one thing for me, maybe a different, type of, AI user would respond to this. But for me, I also probably wouldn't click on it. And I might not be who you're targeting. You might be targeting people that are, much younger or something like that. But for me, I wouldn't click on these probably just because you have this character in here anyway. Because to me, this kind of lowers the quality. And because these have like a meme vibe to them, it makes me think that you're not, like this isn't like anything serious about the topics that you're talking about, right? That's kind of the vibe that I get with this. So because of that, I would make those type of adjustments here when it comes to this and just, be clear, right? Like, I think this one, the ridiculous expectations for junior devs, I think that title makes sense. And you're using what's called an audience identifier here to call out the junior devs, which in turn will call out the seniors, you know, that kind of stuff. But even here, you've kind of polluted everything with the, you know, the meme imagery. So, you know, if you're making, you know, entertainment content, you know, stuff that is really meme content, then, you know, it's different. But if you are talking about these subjects in any way, oh, it looks like maybe you're not. These might just be meme videos.
Are they meme videos?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I would.
I would. That going through it looks like
Yeah, I would redo how you're presenting this stuff. Like, and I know you mentioned that you're having like AI create some of these, which is fine. But you know, like I would definitely level this up in terms of presentation, because like you're talking about serious things here, but you are putting it on like a cartoon game background, right? There's just a huge disconnect on what's being offered here versus how it's being presented. So before you quit, I would make some adjustments to that and try to present this in a more, you know, professional way, or at least a way that makes, you know, a little bit more sense based on the subject matter, and you know, and work on how you're, you know, packaging, and by packaging I mean thumbnails, titles, on how you're packaging some of this also. So another thing that I want to tell you too is, because, you know, when it comes to this, and let me take a quick look here on the, so you made some videos a while back, also along the meme, you know, type of thing there. And so with where you're at right now, I wouldn't quit, but what I would do is I would sit back for a second and I'd be like, all right, how do I want to present this in a way that's going to resonate with the people that I'm trying to reach here? And you might already be on that. Like I said, I might not be who you're trying to reach, but I'm interested in the things that you're talking about. But I would either, one, not click on them because of the meme stuff, or once I clicked on them, I would immediately leave. The moment I saw that cartoon background, I would be like, oh, this isn't even like a real, like, yeah, I'm out of here, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on that, D? Did you see that with like the meme stuff and everything?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I think you really need to get clear about who it is that you make sure my mic is turned on. I think you need to really get clear on who it is you're making videos for. And by that, I mean, not just people who are interested in AI news, but what's the demographic specifically? Mm-hmm. If you are targeting gamers, and I'm assuming the rest of your content is that way in terms of the gameplay in the background. If you're targeting gamers who are also interested in AI, then that might be a great fit. But that's going to kind of pigeonhole you into a specific spot, and I don't know what your growth potential is going to be there. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to reach everyone who's interested in this conversation that you're having on your channel, I would rethink things and say, okay, well, how can I, instead of painting myself into a corner where just people who play games are interested in this AI information, how can I address this to reach as many people as possible in a very saturated market? You can definitely do it, but I don't believe putting gameplay behind it for long form videos is going to be the answer. Yeah. I could be wrong. You might have an amazing personality and you're just awesome to listen to, right? That could be a factor that allows you to blow past other people in the field. But just at a glance, I would say I would rethink how you're doing things. That being said, I don't mind when I come across short form content where it's like a split screen and somebody's talking about something up here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
And then they're
depending on what it is they're talking about.
And then they're playing like Minecraft or something at the bottom. Mm-hmm. For short form content, I don't have a problem with it because it's just
brainless by default.
It's brainless by default, right? But for long form content, especially if you're trying to do an authority play, where you're like, I really want to grow my channel and I want to become an authority for AI news, for example, for breaking AI news, then I don't think gaming is going to be the avenue to take for that. Something to think about.
Mm-hmm. So next up, we have, we did Coding Pulse already.
But I just want to say this. The meme thumbnails didn't bother me. I'm into memes. as we've talked about earlier today over dinner, I'm really into memes. So the meme thumbnails don't bother me, but it's the gameplay that I would think about.
Yeah, for me, because of the memes, I wouldn't take it seriously.
Yeah. Well, you're more into
Like
AI.
I would think that they're like joking about it, or there was just some like just like random commentary versus like anything that would be like useful or meaningful.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
when I'm looking at content, like I like I'll watch some entertainment stuff, but it's usually like comedy related things. But like when it comes to like AI related stuff, it's usually I'm clicking on that because I want to learn something or stay up to date on something, or find out about something new or something like that.
you are their target demographic.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I could be out, age wise, but in
Right.
terms of the
You're interested
interest
in the news, the
yeah, in
topic.
terms of
You're-
the interest that they're talking about, I'm
Right.
all over it.
You're
Yeah.
interested in the topic. I'm not interested in the topic.
Yeah.
So that's why it says it doesn't bother me. But I generally don't have a problem with memes. But I will say this, as you were saying that out loud, I do expect if there's a thumbnail with a meme on it, I'm going to expect some level of entertainment. I'm entering this assuming that whatever you're going to give me, it's going to be done with some level of entertainment, possibly a little comedy, maybe a little sarcasm. Because anybody who would put a meme in their thumbnail, I would expect that that's the type of content. I'm going to get a little bit more relaxed content versus somebody who's just kind of very seriously talking about the information. That's my impression.
So let's see here. So next up on our list here, we got Chat on the Road.
Hey, thank you, Kathy.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate it.
Chat on the Road uploads one time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do urban exploring and haunted locations. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, when I'm creating thumbnails, I run them through vidIQ, and they seem to always want to have my face in the thumbnail, usually a shocked look. If I don't have my face in them, it always scores them lower. What is your take on this? Do thumbnails with a face outperform those that don't? Is this still a strategy? Thanks for everything you do. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So they typically do for channels that have followings already, because those people can identify those creators. So when you are collecting all the data on thumbnails and things like that, then you have to consider that in terms of, some of the data that they're collecting is from some really large channels that people, identify their face and they click on it just because they, like that creator. So there's those sorts of things. So what I recommend to people, and, when people ask this question, is to test it on your channel. Test some with your face in it and test some with your face without it. And then track all of them through the grouping feature on YouTube and see if you notice a difference over time. So let's say you have 10 thumbnails here where you have your face in it, 10 thumbnails here where you don't have your face in it, or 5 and 5 just to give you some initial information, and see if you notice a difference in terms of click-through rate on how people responded to each one from whatever traffic sources you are primarily targeting with that content, which I'm going to guess will be recommendations for a lot of your stuff. Or a mix. You can also look at all the traffic sources too. But yeah, when it comes to faces, that's like a big thing. And one of the funny things, at least for me, is when you test and you find that a thumbnail without your face in it works better.
Yeah,
man, that's
man.
always a gut puncher.
That
isn't it?
happens.
Yeah. Yeah, when you do a test and your face underperforms, you're like, oh man.
There was a period of time where I would release a video with my face on it, knowing that it's going to first push out to my subscribers.
Sure. That's the strategy. Yeah.
And then change it over time if I knew it was something that's going to be evergreen.
Right.
It's going to go to deep search traffic because people who don't know me yet don't care about my face.
Right.
I don't do that anymore. I don't know. Maybe something I should go back to. But it's a punch to your stomach when you put something with your face out there and you're like, wow, this really isn't working. And you put something without your face and it
does substantially better.
does
Not just better,
right.
but it does way better. Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh.
better.
Yeah.
Right. Like to the point where it's like you look at your chart, right? The growth chart, and it's just like it's going and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a flop. You change the thumbnail and it's just like
Right.
just like vertical trajectory. We've got a runner. Yeah. Those are the things you talk about at the bar.
Right.
It's like, man, I can't believe it. I put
And
my
I took my face
on there
off and it started doing so much better. People hate me.
Yeah, I hate the look of my stupid face. Give me some more vodka.
So Jerry Popandrea is our next question. Does daily content, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is a fat guy eating food. That's what he said.
That's what I'm talking about.
The main goal of the channel is connect with others who likes what he likes. And the foodies is his audience. And the question is, computer equipment is getting expensive. I used to edit using DaVinci Resolve and need to get a new PC. Do you guys have any resources you recommend, or where or what to buy?
Oh boy.
D, any thoughts?
Man, we were having a conversation over coffee about this today, and I'm going to have
Sharing some comments over coffee.
we were sharing comments over coffee today, and I'm really going to have to make sure I don't use language because I want to use language when I'm having this conversation. So I started with a Mac many years ago, back on Final Cut Pro #1, and it crashed over and over and over. So I moved to PC, and then I was on PC for forever. And I've recently moved over to Mac because PCs it was just nonstop headaches. Moved over to Mac, whole ecosystem. I have the iPad, I have a watch, I have multiple iPhones. I have the MacBook Pro, I have the iMac.
Look at you, fancy pants.
I'm in the ecosystem.
Look at you.
I'm not a Mac cultist. I won't stand in line for Mac products, and I think it's ridiculous that people buy new phones every year. But I'm in the ecosystem. I really like Mac. But I'm also not happy with where Mac is going and the way they're doing everything. So I can't really tell you which way to go in terms of PC or Mac. What I can say is this. Things are getting more expensive. And as AI uses up more resources and is using up more chips and all of that stuff, it's going to continue to get more expensive. I would get the best system that you can afford to buy, if it's going to be a PC or if it's going to be a Mac. If it is going to be a PC, I would get something that can play games. I would look at PC builds for gameplay because those generally are really good for editing videos on. But you can also go to YouTube and just say 2026 best PC video editing machines or best PC laptops for editing or something like that. And you'll probably find loads of videos where people are actually comparing laptops and different builds to do that. But in terms of Mac versus PC, I mean, I can have pros and cons with them both. But the biggest problem that I have, we're talking about today, you get a Mac and you get, 256. If you get the base storage, 256, but then the actual operating system eats up like 100 gigs of space. Like that's just insane.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like you used
they're
to have
super powerful though. Like they can do, like they're tanks.
Yeah, they are.
They really can. Like they, and I know you mentioned PC, but they really are tanks. Like for editing like 4K video and stuff, like you can, I mean, you can throw whatever you want at them and they'll just take it. Great.
Yeah. Just take it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I listen, I like my Mac, but man, having a lot of problems with it too.
Yeah. So the thing that had me switch over to Mac computers is one, I got a music Mac and I like that one.
Yeah.
But for my main computer though, I spent, I think it was like $5,000 on a custom PC, and then I had it running for like 6 months, and then it started having like all kinds of issues with it and all that, and then I just threw up my hands because the Mac, was solid.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try a Mac, and it's been great. I did have one issue with it recently, but it was easy to fix and it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, PCs are just not a.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm what was the name here at Tommy Productions? Apologies if I got your name wrong there. If you know how to build your own PC, I think that's definitely a good way to go.
Because you know what to do. You know the parts.
Know what to do.
You know that. Yeah.
Any PC laptop that I've owned, including this one. Like I don't do content work anymore on a PC, but for the live streaming, we just had.
Yeah, my stream computer at home's a PC too.
Right. For streaming, I have this only because I can't justify buying a new computer just to sit here and do this, and this works fine. But if you knew how to build a PC, and by the way, I taught myself, you taught yourself.
I don't know how to build a PC. I have no idea.
You didn't build your PC?
No, I go to the.
I take that back.
I go to the shop. Yeah, I go to a shop, and I'm like, I'm a content creator. I need to edit videos and high, I need fast render speeds, blah blah. And I just tell them what it is that I need, and then they piece it all together for me.
I built a couple of PCs, taught myself. I don't think it's that hard, but you need to have a little bit of guts if you are doing it, because it is kind of like the first time you build one, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do here. But if you're going to build an actual tower and you know how to do it, man, that's the way to go. But if you just want an in-the-box solution, I would say, you're going to do some homework on there. I'd go with something that's built for gaming. You're going to want a beast, and I would get the best one you can afford.
Yeah.
Because prices are only going to get more expensive.
So next up on the list here, we have Simple Fit Physical Therapy. Uploads 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more, does educational fitness therapy-based exercises. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, do you think that my topics are too scattered? Should I focus on just 1 or 2 problem areas. So let's get your channel pulled up here.
While you're pulling that up, I'm going to put this up here. Jive Danson's always coming in with some very nice comments. She says, both of you have so much charisma that it's a joy to look at both of you guys, mostly D.
If she would have called us jerks, would you have pulled it up?
But if someone's looks is not so pleasant, I would not watch. Like now. See ya.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Listen, I can say this. Live streaming on a regular basis will help you more with charisma and help you more with trying to articulate your thoughts on the fly than I think anything else will do. If you're only making videos and you're not live streaming regularly,
Sales will do that for you too.
And sales.
Yeah, because you're constantly
face-to-face sales.
interfacing with people.
Right.
Yeah.
How many years did you work in sales?
Probably in total, like 13.
13 years face-to-face sales. Yeah, I mean, that's massive, right? But on top of that, live streaming activates a different, well, I think it activates a different part of your brain. I think I read that. You know, it's kind of like the rubbing your belly.
Metacognition, yep.
Is that what it is, metacognition? Yep. Yeah, if you're only recording videos, that's great. But if you're live streaming regularly and it's causing you to just come up with stuff on the fly and you know, have quick returns, and especially if you're sitting across from someone or you have the ability to stream with someone, it makes you snappy. It makes you really snappy. And I urge everyone to do it. But thank you for the kind words. But I think everybody can be charismatic. You just have to go live a lot. Yep. Go live a lot. Yeah. Even if it's just a one person. Ooze sales, that's right. Beanie, he pretty much talks me into doing everything. I don't stand a chance. When he wants to do something, he has like 20 different ways to box me in until I'm like, oh, okay, I'll buy it.
So in terms of topics, I think your topics are solid. The thing that I would do is, like I mentioned to you in our Tuber School stream, one of the things that I would do is I would make sure that you are putting a ceiling on the age range, because you're doing fitness over 50. And I know that people over 50 do have bad knees, but making sure that when it comes to topic selection, you are solving problems that a humongous amount of, you know, people in the age ranges that you're serving, the problems that they are having at scale, right? So because of that, I would make sure that you are putting a cap on it, and you're doing like from 50 to, you know, that, and then you're focusing on the problems that those people in those ranges have. And the whole idea there is just to make it to where you dial the channel in to where, you know, when people hit that age range, they start looking for, you know, that content, or they already are. Then in that case, once they hit your channel, they're going to be like, oh man, I'm dealing with like half of the stuff that's on this channel right now. So this is great. And then you're able to help them through, you know, some of those problems. The one thing that I think, you know, works against you in terms of, you know, some returning viewers is, like, let's say that the only problem that I have is bad knees. Well, in that case, if you have this one bad knee video and then you don't do another bad knee video for a while, then in that case, you probably gave me what it is that I need here, and then I don't really have a reason that I need to come back, right? But I think that by doing, you know, physical therapy in general, and again, this is also going to be dependent on the age range of people that, you know, that you decide. But I think that, you know, because you're doing a range, it gives you the opportunity to bring in people with all of these, you know, issues. But here you've got, you know, knee replacement, which is good, and then bad knees here, and then here you've got core, here you've got core. So, you know, you're and you've got knee right here as well. So because of that, you are, you know, oh, actually we see knee replacement, you know, legs. So yeah, okay, you're on the right path here, in terms of, you know, making it a resource for the people that are dealing with those problems. But then when you bridge over into neuropathy and you bridge into core strength, then you're going to bring in people that are dealing with those problems that might not care about the knee stuff, right? So you're going to have a little bit of segmentation there. So I would pick, you know, a few different body parts and a few different body parts and the age range, and, you know, build the backbone of it off of that, and then start splintering out from there, you know, as you start picking up momentum. You know what?
I'm 54, and we talked about this yesterday in the Tuber School stream. But here are things that it's not that I'm having problems with, but it's things that I'm aware of. Is that I'm spending more time now
stretching.
I'm spending more time now stretching when I wake up. I spend time in bed doing gentle stretches in bed before I go to bed and when I wake up. I do balance exercises to make sure I maintain my balance. Because I've read and I've been told that as you age, it can be more difficult to keep your balance. So I do those things. I also do some exercises and actually hurt my knee. I told you this, I hurt my knee. I watched a video on different ways to get up off the floor without using your hands, and to make sure you can continue to do it as you age, because it gets more difficult as you get older. And I did that, and I actually injured my knee.
Oh, nice. Way to go.
But my point is, I would consider, if you haven't done this already, really sitting down and going through an exhaustive list, even though that means you have to go to Reddit, or if you have to go through Facebook groups, or you have to sit with ChatGPT, or anything you can find on the internet, and really start dialing in all these different problems that people might be having as they age, right? And try to connect it to something that's really, because you're doing this, right? Bad knees do this, but it's like knees hurt going downstairs. That's one problem, right? But what if you start targeting people who struggle to get up off the floor? People who lack core strength, but they just want to pick up their grandchildren, right? And they're having issues with that because of their back, or they lack core strength, or people who are losing their balance, Anyway, my point on that is just, I would go really down the rabbit hole and try to find specific problems and really become a resource for the go-to person for anyone who's like, okay, well, I'm aging, my body's changing, and she is helping me work through these changes, all these different changes that I have. Anyway, random thought.
Hey, so also just one thing I want to bring to your attention here. Another thing I would adjust with this is, you have knees hurt going downstairs, try this exercise. I would have like, this will help. And then by doing that, you are, it's like bad knees do this, and then, knees going hurt going downstairs, this will help. So then you're basically saying, I'm going to give you a solution to that problem. Also, you have bad knees in white, which kind of blends in with the background here, and then do this in yellow. So I love the change that you made here, and this looks great. But I would change the bad knees text to being yellow, and then the do this to the white. Reason for that is because that yellow is going to grab somebody's attention faster than the white will, just based on color psychology. So because of that, I would make that yellow and then make the do this white.
I would also test things like exactly what he said with the text. Pull her back out for a second. But I would also test things with your imagery, right? If I'm just scrolling, yes, the words bad knees might get my attention, but I would also test different things, like a photo of just like the lower body walking downstairs. So bad knees, and then I associate that with stairs.
I mentioned that to her also.
Oh, did you mention that? Yeah.
I think I mentioned that in the stream yesterday too. Yeah.
Just imagery to play with, to try to make that connection to where it's like, oh yeah, stairs, pain, I have a problem with that. Because sometimes, text is one thing, imagery is another thing. And if you can marry those two to where it's the text and the right imagery, they're going to be more inclined to click on it, because all of a sudden you associate, because I see you standing on a little stool there, and at a glance, I might not realize that's a tiny little stool. But if I see stairs, I might say, oh yeah, I hate stairs. Stairs are terrible.
Renee Ritchie in the house.
Renee Ritchie.
Renee
Hope
Ritchie
that
has
you are
arrived.
doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. He says, is there anything that Dee's mad about today? So no, but I am not mad at you. But I went on not a rant, but just earlier in the stream today, I just mentioned how I think that YouTube is as cool as Ask Studio is. I think that the fact that it can still give people bad advice, even though that disclaimer's on there, I think that Ask Studio could be doing creators a disservice. And I think that it's bad for YouTube to give people access to that. I understand that, you guys are using it to, train it on questions that people ask and all that stuff, so you can get it all fine-tuned. But through my own experimentation, it's given me a lot of really bad information that I've had to correct it on, to where if a new content creator, somebody that doesn't have that experience, if they would have been given that information, then they might take that information and run with it, and it could work against them. In addition to that, we have somebody that we know that also isn't as experienced, and it mentioned to them that they should delete content off of their channel. and they deleted a bunch of shorts off of their channel because of it. And then in later conversations, it told them that, oh no, you shouldn't have done that. And then told them to, or they didn't delete them. Sorry, they unlisted them. And then they ended up like relisting the, shorts back on their channel, but they were getting, that type of feedback. So those things, I think I understand that it's being trained, but I just think that for people that don't have that experience, it can give them information that they can't identify that it's wrong. And from that, it can put them in, it can help them make bad decisions. Yeah, I can send you some examples. Absolutely. I made a whole video about it, but I deleted the video because the video, like the tone of the video was pretty negative.
I told him, Renee, he showed me the video and I said, that's a little more negative, a little more negativity than you want to put on your channel. You usually don't throw YouTube under the bus like that. That is my job.
He didn't see the video, but basically the video was pretty negative. So I deleted it, but I have like some screenshots in there and stuff that I can send you. And I'll also see with that person if I can, because they made that move back in May before they joined Tuber School. So because of that, I'm not sure if they'll still have that conversation in there, but I can give you more information on that as well, so you guys might be able to take a look.
Roberto Blake in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Roberto Blake, Sith Lord of YouTube, in the house.
Roberto Blake.
Yeah, he says upload it to Dee's channel.
Yes. Yes. Oh. Yeah, and here's the thing, we talked about AI earlier, but all AI has an issue with guessing and hallucinating. So AI is an amazing tool, no matter what you're doing with it, graphics, information, brainstorm, or whatever. But when it comes to the information, you still have to double check things. I wouldn't take anything as gospel at this stage. It's made so many mistakes with me, even with my health. Yeah. Trying to I
know like ChatGPT and stuff. The problem that I have with
ChatGPT has had me mixing pills.
The problem that I have with YouTube's is because it's coming from YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. It's coming from YouTube. It's a Google product. Yeah. So by default, I thought the same thing. Like when I first started playing around with it,
it's going to have better information.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And it's cool because it does have access to your channel and it can give you some interesting information. But the fact that it's there for people that don't know, they can't see it and be like, wait a minute, that's not right.
If you don't know better,
people,
right? If you don't know better,
yeah, for those people, I think it can lead them off the rails, unfortunately. And I think just because it's like it's coming from the source, and that's what makes it trustworthy. And I think that's where the problem is, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and I think obviously over time it's going to be fine tuned, but man, if you don't know. It's like with anything else. You have ChatGPT, you have Claude, Gemini, whatever. If you're asking it questions and you don't know, like I mentioned with ChatGPT.
But if you're using ChatGPT, it's like, well, it's ChatGPT. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. But like when it's coming directly from YouTube,
you expect it
from your YouTube data,
right?
It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this thing's going to tell me like what's going on. This is great, right?
This is better than ChatGPT. This is better than XYZ.
Yeah, but I'll DM you about that. I'll DM you about that, Renee. So next up here, we have the Lazarus code. That sounds epic.
My point, it does sound epic. My point, though, like ChatGPT, it could be wrong, but it had me mixing sleeping pills.
Medicine, yeah.
And I'm not a doctor. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Gemini actually was
You're a rock star, not a doctor.
That's right. Gemini was like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. And then I went back to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, is it safe to mix these? And like, absolutely not. Like, you told me to do it. You're right to call me out on that. Well, I'm glad I woke up. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
It's great.
So I learned that I have a very high tolerance to sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm. So the Lazarus code, they upload when they have time. Been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming and psychology content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. The target audience is gamers between the ages of 18 and 50. That's a swing right there.
That's a swing.
The question is, how do I get a sponsorship? I'm currently at almost 10,000 subscribers and average 100,000 views per video. So
100,000 per video?
Yeah, let me see what you're doing here.
Great. So while you're pulling that up, I want to highlight this. It says, imagine YouTube without AI, people creating only original videos. I think I told you a couple days ago, I would love it if somebody came out with like an internet you could connect to that is AI free. Just for those of us who like, I like AI, but just for people like, hey, connect to this.
I'll watch AI videos. I'll listen to AI music. Like, I don't care.
I will, but there's a lot of people who don't.
They're anti. Yeah, I fight with those people on Reddit all the time.
And I think we're going to come to a point where there's going to be a split. That'd be great. Just hey, connect to this, and it's just AI free. But then the trick becomes people are going to try to outsmart that with AI.
That's all it will be.
That's all it will be.
And we're also going to hit, even with all of the tools getting better.
Yeah.
Even with the ID that they're attaching to some of it.
Synth ID.
Yeah. Even with that, I think that somebody's going to beat that if they haven't already.
Yeah.
And like Seed Dance. I don't know if you saw the recent Seed Dance update, but people are putting out just some mind-blowing stuff out of Seed Dance.
I did. I saw one where it was like they had like a Korean girl in like a little village.
Oh,
and she like was sitting there and she was like making some food or something. She got up and like fed her cat and
looked
like,
real.
100.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw a similar thing. It wasn't a Korean, but it was a similar thing to where it was just like this lady, and she was just like doing chores and stuff like that. And I mean, it looked like a real video. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, we are so cooked. Yep. Not only are we cooked, but our poor parents, like all of us.
Oh, they don't stand a chance.
All of us, like we're hip to the AI stuff. We know what's going on. We know the tools that are out there. A lot of us are keeping track of this stuff, and you see what's happening. But your parents, if you have parents who might be 70, 80, plus 90 years old on Facebook, they're toast.
Right.
They're gonna believe everything.
Right.
Yeah, sit down and have a conversation with your parents.
So really quick, so I'm going to pull up your channel, and I just want to say nice work on what it is that you're doing here. You've got 3 videos, and you've got 9,000 subscribers on the channel. Out of these videos that you have, your first 3 videos here, unless you've deleted anything, your first 3 videos here, you've got 144,000 views on your first video, 96 on your second one, and 48 on your third one. So you're doing amazing for a new channel. So nice work on that. But when it comes to brand deals, yeah, so with this, it's really going to come down to the content being in alignment with brands. So with this, with the current view counts that you're getting, I'm not 100% sure with these. I mean, the view counts are great, but in terms of what it is that you're doing, like if these are just gameplay videos, which I played Demon Soul as a therapist, I didn't expect this. Yeah, so like with some of these, if you don't have any type of like personality attached to these or anything like that, where you have real opportunities to present something, from a brand, then in that case, it's going to be challenging. So one thing that you can do, but it might end up negatively impacting your view counts because people are responding to this so well, is that, you could reach out to companies, show them what it is that you're doing on the channel, show them, they're going to want your demographics. They're going to want to, some companies are going to want to see where your traffic's coming from, things like that, to make sure that these aren't like YouTube promotions views or anything like that. And as long as that's the case, then they might want to get in front of this audience. So because of that, I would physically reach out to people, to companies that you want to work with, and pitch them with an idea. Don't just be like, hey, I'm looking for brand deals, but instead pitch them with an idea of some kind. Some people argue against that, and they're like, yeah, I don't reach out to people, but I've had success with it. So I would reach out and see if you can make connections with them. So a way to do that is you can hop on LinkedIn. You can connect with the gaming people, all the different gaming companies there. You can connect with, the companies that you're trying to reach for consoles or, controllers or other accessories, things like that. You can do all of those things. Other things that you can do with this, with the view counts that you're getting, is you can also add things into your video description where you can do affiliate marketing down here for like gaming controllers or PC builds or whatever the thing is, to where you can do that sort of thing as well. But right now, with where you're at, because you're doing well here, I would definitely make sure that you are adding something down here that allows you to make money as well. You don't have to completely fill it out, but add something down here. It could be links to your headphones, link to your controllers, link to your, PC or your, anything like that. Any good accessories that you absolutely love and that you use on a regular basis. You can just put a little block down here that's an affiliate block of, the stuff that I, use to play my games or whatever the thing is, or my must-have gaming products. And then you just put that little link list down here. And then that gives you the opportunity to make money from these videos that you are making. But you're already in the partner program and stuff, so you're fine there too. But this will allow you to make a little bit of extra money for those people. And one of the things that you can do is somewhere in the video, and I wouldn't do it until later in the video, you can mention that one of those things, and just do it really quick and in passing, and just mention that you have it down in the video description. And then that way, for the people that are watching on devices where they can easily get down into the video description, then that will, for the people that are interested in it, then they can go down and check it out. So I would experiment with that when it comes to when it comes to the affiliate side. But if you're not interested in that, you only want to work with brands, then I would start working, on contacting brands. There's a creator that I want you to watch. His name's Justin Moore. He has a YouTube channel called Creator Wizard. He has a book called Sponsor Magnet. Do we have Sponsor Magnet here? Or is it at home?
Whoa, we do. It's at home.
So yeah, when it comes to Sponsor Magnet, he's wrote in the book on brand deals. So I would definitely go check out his content as well, and he can also give you a bunch of unique ideas when it comes to ways that you might be able to monetize this, or not monetize it, but get brand deals around it. Next up, but really with the pace that you're at. Like, right now, I would focus your attention on, I would focus it more on videos and consistency of that response also before you go too hard into trying to get brand deals and stuff. And the reason for that is because when it comes up to brands, they also like to see consistency. They like to see engagement. They like to see, people rallying around that creator. Those types of things, because when you give recommendations, they'll carry more weight if you have an audience like that compared to somebody that's just coming in, they're not familiar with the content. Maybe it's like maybe you had 3 good videos, right? But if you can start building out an archive of, I've got like 10, 15 videos and every one that I make is a home run like this, then in that case, that puts you in a better position in the eyes of brands, because it shows that you can consistently do the thing, which is also something that they're looking for. Yeah, and Steven says brands keep emailing me for things that don't really relate, like games or outdoor clothes. Yeah, that's going to happen. So I think with AI, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing, because my outreach has also increased quite a bit since all these AI tools have been out.
Even before AI,
yeah, it was already ridiculous.
I had Amazon sellers trying to get me to talk about bras.
Right.
And that was like underwear. Like, what? This would be a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. Like, what?
Right.
What? Hey, would you like this blender? Mm-hmm. We'll have to send you a blender to review.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, so Paul just asked if I have any videos on YouTube settings. So I do have a fairly recent video on YouTube settings that is more around refreshing your channel for the year. So if you go to my archive and you look at the videos that I made right around the beginning of the year, then you will see a video. I'm seeing if I can find it here really quick. But you will see a video about changes that you should make on your YouTube channel. Let's see here. Let's see if I can just find it super quick. And yeah, it doesn't look like I can find it super quick. Oh yeah, update these YouTube settings now. It's like a 6-month-old video, but this isn't as much about step-by-step. These are the YouTube settings. This is more about refreshing your channel. So a lot of people will, publish videos with like the year in the title or the year in the thumbnail, things like that. So this video is about new settings that YouTube has put out that people probably didn't know about at the time, and things that you needed to do there. And in addition to that, it also talks about refreshing things and stuff like that as well, to kind of get the channel ready for the new year. Let's see here. So next up, we have not available. Goal is showing how I use AI as a high school teacher. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, could you quickly share the top maybe 5 or so best practices when starting a channel, including what the proper starting video creation package should be, and how, if all, should link to one another? Yes. So when it comes to starting a YouTube channel and the videos that you're going to build around the launch of the YouTube channel, you should publish with like 3 to 5 videos. And the whole idea with that is that, 1, it's more videos in the system. 2, for YouTube testing. 2, it's also more content to where if somebody enjoys one video, that they have additional content, not just to watch in that moment, but also to where once they leave your video, if YouTube finds it a satisfactory experience for them, then they have additional videos that they can recommend to those people while you're working on your other videos, right, that you're going to publish. So the general rule of thumb there is 3 to 5 videos so that you can just have that additional content that people can watch if they enjoy your content. Now, if you if you make those videos and people don't respond to them, then it's probably going to be, a lot of work when it comes to that initial part. But if they do respond to them, then you're going to position yourself in a really good way to take full advantage of that. Also, make sure that because you have here that it's AI for school teachers. Make sure that you're clear about that and everything it is that you're doing, from your titles to your thumbnails to, you know, how your channel's positioned when somebody looks at your channel page, like all of that, your about me, all of those things, because you want to make sure that when you start the channel that you have the right people clicking on your content. So for example, if you make a video and that video is about, you know, you know, Fable 5, right? Hey, you know, Fable 5, you know, just came out, or, you know, this is how I use Fable 5. Well, you're going to have a lot of people clicking on this is how I use, you know, a video that's framed around this is how I use Fable 5. You're going to have a lot of people clicking on that video that aren't teachers, that won't care about, you know, the additional content in your channel. They're just going to care about like, oh, hey, I wonder how this person's using Fable 5. Whereas if it's, you know, this is how I use Fable 5 as a teacher, then in that case, you'll still have some people click on it because they'll be curious, but the people that's going to be meaningful to is going to be teachers. So then it's going to be clear from the outside that, okay, I'm a teacher using Fable 5. This is how I use it as a teacher, right? So then that way, if a teacher sees it, they're going to be like, oh, here's a teacher using this. I wonder how they're using it, right? Also, keep in mind, and a lot of people don't really think about this because when you're starting something, you're already into it. You have all of the knowledge that you already have about that thing. So if you are going to be introducing teachers to AI and how they can use AI in their classrooms and all that stuff, make sure that when you are packaging your videos that you're keeping that in mind too. So in that same exact example about Fable 5, if I, you know, or if you made a video and it was about Fable 5, and you said like, oh, this is how I'm using, you know, Fable 5 in the classroom, then in that case, or as a teacher, then in that case, they have to know what Fable 5 is in order for that to have any meaning to them whatsoever, right? So because of that, you, instead of using Fable 5 or instead of using Claude that they also might not be familiar with, if you're trying to meet people that are very beginners and introduce them to all this stuff as teachers, then in that case, you know, you might want to say, you know, this is how I use AI as a teacher. And then by doing that, then AI is going to be your anchor to something that people know and that they're familiar with, instead of them having to already know what Claude is or what Fable 5 is in that particular example. So you just want to make sure that everything is clear and easy to understand. You're a teacher, so you probably get this more than most people. But the idea is you just want to make it clear and easy to understand for people that might not have any context or any idea what it is that you're talking about when it comes to the things that you're specifically naming. Now, with that said, if you are trying to reach an audience, and this is where understanding who you're trying to reach is really important. If you are trying to reach an audience that already has their toes in the water, they know what these tools are, they just don't really know how to use them in the best ways for their classroom, then in that case, you can use that language. And you can talk about how you use Claude as a teacher, right? Because then in that case, you are trying to meet those types of viewers where they're at, instead of trying to, you know, meet people, you know, that don't know anything about this stuff and bring them to where you are. You're meeting people where you're at, and then you're trying to take them up a notch, right? So get super clear on who it is that you're reaching, because those types of nuances matter. They always matter, but they especially matter when you're just getting started, because you're in that early process of helping YouTube uncover who it is that, you know, is a slam dunk for your content. When they recommend it to them, they're always responding to it, right? That's the ultimate thing that you're trying to do. Next on our list here, we have a teacher Kelly tag. What's going on? We got another teacher in here. We just had a teacher in here talking about AI stuff. So Dr. Yanis is the next channel. Dr. Yanis does bi-weekly content. They upload, they've been making videos for 1 year or more. The type of channel is helping law students with the bar exam. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, trying shorts to reach more people in my community, but not getting any traction. Okay, so that's not a question, but let me, yeah, so if you are making shorts and you're not getting any traction, then, yeah, then you have to work on being able to capture people's attention when it comes to your shorts. And you also have to be making videos about things that enough people that, you know, when Shorts is recommending it to people, that enough people are going to care about. So, yeah, like SQE case files, consumer rights, maybe, right, in terms of the topic of one of these, but also maybe not, right? Like how to prep for the SQE. I'm not sure what the SQE is. So right here, I mean, you know, a lot of people are going to swipe past this because they might not know what that is, but that's okay. But the people that do know what that is, hopefully they'll stick around and watch. But one thing that is important to think about is when it comes to whatever the SQE is will this matter to enough people that when YouTube shows it to people in their shorts, when they're just sitting there watching, you know, shorts content, that they will that will be more interesting to them than some other entertainment content that they might be watching. So make sure that you are just thinking about, for the format that I'm offering, or the, like if I'm doing shorts, are the shorts that I'm making appropriate for the audience that I'm trying to reach with the shorts? Looks like some of these are AI. If not, maybe it's just high quality. Yeah, that's definitely AI. Yeah, so it looks like you're making AI for some of these too. So yeah, sometimes that can work. Other times, not so much. So just be mindful of that too. Some people care about those things, other people don't, but that'll be part of, understanding who it is that you're trying to make content for. But you've already got 4,000 subscribers on here, so you're having people respond to your stuff. So you're, tuned in a bit. But when it comes to your shorts, yeah, you just have to make sure that if you're not getting traction here, just think volume in terms of people, right? So topically, how many people are going to care about SQE, case files, negligence, right? And then just make sure that you're making shorts topically that enough people are going to care about, that are into that subject matter. Traveling with Russell says, thoughts on members only shorts. I think members only content is perfectly fine. If it's shorts, if it's, long form content, if it's live streams, whatever it is, I think members only content is fine. And I think it's a good practice if you have channel members and if that's something that you've offered them. So, offering them members only shorts, then they get a little taste of something that, that'll just pop up in their feed, or that they'll be able to click on in your channel that, that they, that other people don't get. So there's the exclusivity thing that goes on there, which is cool. So, because of that, I strongly believe in member content. Yeah, I saw those as well, the members only ones. Yeah, one thing that's interesting when it comes to members only content is, like, if you're a member somewhere, like, they'll show you content from, years ago on a members only channel. Like, I get D's videos from time to time, his members only videos. I get Daniel Batal's members only videos from time to time. So JJ Radio Guy, they upload one time per week or more. They have an 80s music channel. The goal of the channel is, it's a new channel. Hold on. Scroll back up. It's connect with others who like what they like. The target audience is lovers of 80s top 40 music. And the question is, my channel is a weekly 2-hour radio show. Oh, that's cool. Where I DJ, like I did back in the 80s, on the radio with complete with logos and jingles. Hey, if you have a Mac, I don't know if you do or not, but if you're doing that sort of thing, shoot me a DM on Twitter or on X, or shoot me an email at askniman@gmail.com. I have something that I've built. It's this right here that I've built that this is where I trigger my sound effects from, but it's a tablet and it's an iPad and a PC, but it's a soundboard. So I'll give it to you for free if you give me feedback on it. So if that's something you're interested in, just let me know. But you say that you won't make AdSense money because of copyrights. The record labels will get the revenue. Currently asking for contributions through Buy Me a Coffee. Right now, it's a labor of love, spending about 10 hours a week to produce a 2-hour show. I've done 9 shows to date with limited success, basically between 80 and 300 views per video. I have 72 subscribers. That's cool. How can I grow this channel faster? My other channel is JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia. Okay, got it. Okay, now I see. So let's take a look at what it is that you're doing here. Okay, so so step number 1 is I would do a lot of experimentation. I mean, you only have a few episodes here, so the first thing I want to tell you is what you're going through here is normal. I mean, you have another YouTube channel, so you know this already, but what you're going through here is normal in terms of, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So on all of these, because you've committed to this style, and I understand that it's probably for branding purposes. However, right now, people are tuning in, which is good, but you might want to do a lot more episodes and experimentation on how you're presenting this versus committing to it, right? So here on this one, you got a little bit more views on this one, and it's different than these. Actually, you got more views on all of these here than you have the AI ones. And it's funny because these don't have people in them, anything like that, and all it is a logo. but you've still got more views on these than you did on so far. I mean, these are older videos too, but you got more views on these so far than you have on, you know, these other ones here as well. But these might end up getting there by the time they get to the same length. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I would do a lot of experimentation on how you're presenting this, and I'm not sure if this is audio only. Oh no, you're on camera. Okay. Here. Okay, you're also giving like supportive graphics, things like that. Yeah, so this is going to come down to one, making sure that you are packaging things right. So you can do, you know, this sort of thing is perfectly fine. But I would definitely experiment with the format of the show, right? Making sure that as people are going through the show, just use your audience retention reports. You don't have a lot of information now, but as you progress through time, you'll get information based on different segments that you do and things like that that cause people to click away or cause them to stick around. So I would just be paying really close attention to that right now, even with the information that you currently have, even though it's not a lot. I would be using your retention reports to see, like, okay, when I'm, you know, doing these like little segments here, do people, you know, care about those or do they not? So I'd just be paying really close attention to that. Same thing with the songs that you play. So with whatever songs it is that you're playing, I would also be really mindful about that as well. One thing I want to tell you is that when it comes to this, and this is just a safety precaution. So really quick to repack or unpack that, just quick things. One, make more videos so you can experiment more. Two is experiment with your thumbnails instead of just committing to something, because you might be committing to something that people respond to at a lower level when you might find something that people respond to at a higher level. So definitely do that. Also, when it comes to the format of the show, make sure that you're, you know, just watching your audience retention reports to see how people are responding to that, which is something that you didn't have in radio, right? In terms of seeing like, okay, the people that are watching this, how are they responding to it? So that's cool that you have that type of information now. Yeah, and I would just do wild experiments on your thumbnails. And another thing too, and this is just me being, you know, this is just the way that I think about things. But also in a situation like this is fine and it's nice and casual. But I would try to make this look more radio-y a little bit too, if it is a radio show, just for the sake of the theme, right? Just try and, you know, like, I'm not sure in terms of the camera that you're using, but I would try to use like a nice camera and just kind of set everything up so it just gives that whole vibe to it. And the reason for that is because if somebody's listening to this and they have it open in like another window or on another monitor or something like that, and they have it to where there's visuals involved, where they're actually, you know, watching or kind of halfway watching, then in that case, just trying to make it, you know, just more interesting looking, you know, for them also. So it just looks like they're getting some insights into, you know, your studio in some way. Like, that's something that I would experiment with, just to see if people respond, you know, any differently when they're watching it. Pretty cool idea though. But one thing that I do want to warn you about though, from the safety side of this, is you mentioned that from copyright, that the brand or that the music labels are going to get the copyright, or they're going to get the ad revenue once you get there. Also keep in mind that when it comes to copyright on YouTube, that you can also get strikes. So some people will take your ad revenue, some people will issue strikes, and they will take your content down. So because of that, you know, you get a very limited number of those. So I would make sure that you are somehow trying to figure out, you know, which companies are going to give you strikes versus which won't, and make sure that you're focusing more on, you know, obviously stuff that is not going to put your channel at risk. And another thing too is, I'm not sure what Super Q is. I guess that's your radio station. So I wouldn't optimize around the radio station. I would optimize around what it is that you're delivering to people. So one thing that I would do with this is I would go and I would look at a lot of the music channels that are making similar content and look at how they are capturing attention. So look at music channels that are thriving. And I don't mean people that are making music videos. I mean people that are just making videos for people to listen to in the background, because that's what this is going to be used for mostly. So I would look at channels that are here. We'll just do this and we'll see what we find here. 80s music playlist. This is probably going to give me some official thing. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah, like this, right? 80s music on the road, 2 hours of classic 80s hits, right? So you can go ahead and say that in your radio voice. And then here, 2 months ago, 80 songs everyone knows, ultimate nostalgia hits mix, no skip playlist, right? So the idea is going here and looking to see, like, okay, for these people that are providing these listening experiences, how are they presenting this? And is there anything that I can learn or use in terms of how they're presenting this and what it is that I'm doing? So as you can see, like, none of these are optimized around the show, right? They're not optimized around the channel name. They're optimized around what the viewers are going to be getting out of this. And I recommend that you do something similar there. And Slay Went Walking says it looks like a radio studio. I've been in lots of control rooms. Okay, cool. Yeah, then he's already got that vibe. That's good. Yeah, I was just saying it because I didn't really get that when I looked at it. It looked like, you know, he's making like a home office or something is what I saw. But if that's what they normally look like, then that absolutely works. So next up on the list, yeah, I was expecting something a little bit more like that. So next up on the list here, we have, okay, that was 14. We did the radio guy. Glassbound Visuals. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for less than 1 month. They do visual ASMR, so VSMR. Goal of the channel is to have fun, and the target audience, they're not quite sure yet, but the goal is to provide interesting, relaxing visuals. And the question is, I've started a new channel that I've had in my mind for a long time. I only have 3 videos, but wanted to see if the visuals of the thumbnails and banner get the first impressions point across, and if I can do anything visually better. So basically, you're just wanting feedback on the visuals of what it is that you're doing. Okay. Let's see what it is that you have going on here. Okay, so I'm not sure the use case for here. So you mentioned that you don't know what your, what your audience, who your audience is. One thing that I would get clear on is, if you're doing visuals like this, I think it's cool that you are, that you're doing something that's a little bit more unique here. But I would, like, this one's a 24-second video. So this isn't really long enough for anybody to enjoy much when it comes to this video. This one is, right? Like, for example, so I used to do this thing when I streamed at home where I had this back camera. And when that back camera was on, basically it would show from behind me, and it would show my setup at the time, because at that time I had my like widescreen monitor in that setup. So it would show like that setup. But then I also have a like a music area. And in that music area on camera, it didn't look that great because it was just like this dark hole up in like the top left of the image. So because of that, I put some lighting back there. And when I put that lighting back there to just kind of make it, a little bit more alive instead of it being this black hole, then you could see the computer monitor. So when you see the computer monitor, then it's just a black monitor back there. So I didn't like that either. So I'm like, okay, what can I do with that? So then I would go and find stuff like this. And in that case, my utility was simply just putting something on that screen just so it was more visually interesting instead of it being boring. And I would find, like, I was looking for like lava lamps. I was looking for fish tanks. I was looking for, all kinds of those types of things. And because of that, YouTube at that time, it started sending me some really interesting visuals that I could show up on screen. So some people will use those types of things as screensavers. People like me use them just to kind of fill, space when we're putting other stuff together. But I would, get really clear on what it is that you're offering here and how you want people to enjoy it. And the reason that I mention that is because in this case here, if you have a 24-second video and then you have like a 10-minute video, like these are going to be 2 totally different use cases for how people might be enjoying these. Same thing here with a minute. So these 2 are probably more in alignment. But like with this one here, with it being a little bit longer, like the person that might see this as a resource for whatever it is that they would use this for those people, these are not that same resource as much, right? So technically you could loop these, and then if you loop these, then, they might be that too. But I would figure out like, okay, are my videos usually 10 minutes? Are they usually an hour? Like, are they usually, a minute? But when it comes to my use case, I would look for the longest ones that I could find. And that's because my streams last a long time. And I might not be who you're looking for. I'm just sharing this information just so you can have additional information. But for me, I would look for videos that are like minimum an hour, but usually like, 2 and 3 hours long. So then that way I could put them up, and then it would just kind of, it would serve that purpose. Now in my setup, sometimes when I'm working, every now and then I'll put like a fireplace or a fish tank or something on the TV as well, just for the sake of, just having something there just to kind of add to the vibe of the room. Most of the time I don't, but sometimes I'll do that too. But those are also usually longer videos that I'll sync out. No, I didn't mean JJ Lonely Bull Nation. I didn't mean a real studio. I just meant, just kind of maybe with lighting or something like that, you, just create like a vibe of some kind, just so it, it looks a little bit more, designed, so to speak. And you can do all that with lighting. Probably lighting that you already have around your place.
Do they not have any depth?
Yeah, it looked like you were on a Zoom call.
Okay.
Yeah, is kind of what it looked like. Next up on the list here. Yeah.
Flat. Yeah, little things, man. Like if you just have like they're called anything that naturally would be in a set, like a lamp or candles or something that's just naturally in your room, those are called practical lights. So if you're shooting in an environment that has a lamp or a light in the background, turn it on. Turn it on. If you have things in the background, turn them on. Those practical lights can help add some depth to your actual shot.
And Answer My Productions, they say, how long should long form be? You're not going to like this answer, but they should be as long as they need to be. So for some types of content, that long might be 5 minutes. For other, and it's also how long you can keep people watching for. So for some types of content, that long might be 5 minutes, and that might give everybody everything it is that they need out of that video. And those videos can blow up. For other people, it might be an hour long, and those videos blow up. So it really comes down to your audience, what it is that you're providing, and what it is that's needed in order to get viewers what it is that they want, and your ability to keep people watching. So, for example, if you make an hour-long video, but you can't get people past 2 minutes, doesn't make sense to make an hour-long video. But if you are making an hour-long video and you're getting some people that are completing that, or they're getting pretty far into it, then in that case, maybe you can trim it down a little bit if they're not completing it. But, if they make it a half an hour, then that might be your, video length. So look in your retention and see how long you're keeping people for. Look in your niche and see what other people are doing and see if you find similarities there. And then try to think about those similarities. So like if you are looking at channels and you're like, man, everybody in my niche is making like 10 to 15 minute videos. Doesn't mean you have to make 10 to 15 minute videos. It just means that that's what everybody's doing. So then that gives you information. So you can say, okay, well, why do I think they're making 10 to 15 minute videos? Does anybody have any longer videos? How did those do? Does anybody have shorter videos? How did those do? Out of all these channels in my niche, how many of them have had shorter videos or longer videos, and how do they do, right? And you use that to just get some additional, or not additional, but some starting information to make those type of decisions about how long the video is. But the thing when it comes to a video length is that if you make a video long for the sake of making it long, you're probably going to fill it with stuff that doesn't matter to viewers just for the sake of making it longer. And that's why making it as long as it needs to be, meaning like when the content's finished and you're like, okay, yeah, that's it. And I don't have anything in here that's wasting anybody's time, and all this is going to be valuable to the viewers. As soon as you get done with that, then that's probably long enough.
I'll add to that. We have hit a state to where you need to be ruthless with your edit. Some people are naturally really good in front of the camera. They can just sit down and they can tell a story or talk about things and they just pull you in. Some people just naturally have that. For the rest of us, I think you have to be ruthless with your edit now. And if that means you have to watch it a couple of times. And the rule of thumb.
Can you explain what you mean by ruthless in the edit? You're not talking about like editing Mr. Beast style. You're talking about being mindful about the viewer experience.
Trimming the fat, right. Being mindful of the viewer experience. I'm not talking about jump cuts every 5 seconds or anything like that. I'm talking about rewatch your video multiple times, right? After each pass. And when you come to a part, ask yourself, could I remove this section and could the viewer still understand the video? If the answer is yes, remove it. Just go through the video and just watch it several times and say, okay, I'm just kind of waffling here. Am I getting to the point fast enough, or am I kind of getting off track? And if you're waffling, get rid of it. Anything you can get rid of and it's not going to really affect the information that you're giving or affect the story or anything like that, I think it's a good idea just to get rid of it. Unless you just happen to be one of those people who can just sit down, turn on the camera, hit record, and just hold somebody's attention for 30 minutes. Those people exist. You might be one of them. But trim the fat.
Next up, we have Learn
the
Spanish with Mr. Briggs. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do educational content. Goal is to be a full-time content creator. And they are targeting active learners of Spanish. And it says, hey, quick question. I have a Spanish learning channel called Learn Spanish World with 213,000 subscribers. Most of my videos are Learn Spanish While You Sleep. I now started a second channel called Learn Spanish with Mr. Briggs, which is going to be more focused on active lessons. Think I should make talking head videos private on my main channel and re-upload them to the new one, or should I delete them completely from the first channel before uploading them to the fresh new channel? I'm mainly trying to avoid confusing the algorithm or creating any duplicate content issues. So if you are no longer going to be publishing talking head videos on that channel, then I would unlist those videos. I wouldn't completely delete them off the channel, but I'd unlist them, and then I would upload them over to the other channel. By unlisting them and by you controlling both of those, and you're not creating like a bunch of different channels on it, like you're just taking them off of the one and then you're publishing them over there. Since they're not public, then you should also be okay there, and you don't have to completely delete them, because you do have Spanish learners that have been in there that might be into the sleep stuff. So because of that, I wouldn't completely delete the videos off of that channel because they're still aligned, sort of. So I wouldn't completely delete them off of that channel. I would unlist them though.
I have another thought on editing.
Okay.
As you're watching through your video, if you yourself cannot sit through the video, it's probably too long. And you need to work on your communication and editing skills. I've done that before. I'm watching my own video back, and I'm just like, yeah, I
deleted a whole video because just yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it same thing. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, just after making it, watching it back, I'm like, yeah, it's just not the tone I want to put out there.
Right.
Yeah,
in your case, it was the wrong tone.
Yeah.
Videos I've made in the past where I've made them and then I'm watching it back and I just want to do everything else except watch the video. And I'm like, okay, this isn't it. I need to either re-edit this until where I do want to watch the video and it flows better, or I need to just get rid of this video and start over. Maybe I was low energy. I don't know. You don't know what it is at the time, but if you can't sit through it, that's a problem.
Traveling with Russell says, it's like packing for a holiday and your luggage is full. In reality, you're only going to use 50% of what you actually take with you. Repack.
Every time. It's like packing too many pairs of underwear on a trip. And you get back and you're like, I only used 2 pairs of underwear. I don't know why I brought 12.
What kind of trip are you taking?
Yeah, well.
So Scale Train Station is the next channel. They upload when they have time. They do model train content. Gold channels connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, I want to make a permanent camera setup at my desk. Currently, I use a webcam going into a laptop and a Sony ZV-1. I would like 3 cameras that are 4K, can focus clearly on a 2 to 12-inch subject from 2 to 3 feet away, and inexpensive. Any recommendations?
I'm sorry. Have a Sony ZV-1?
Yes.
So what's the question then?
They want 3 cameras, so they need 2 more cameras.
Get 2 more. Whatever the updated version of the ZV-1. I think it's a ZV-110. Is that what it is now? Or
well, they have a ZV-E10 where you can change lenses. I think they also have a ZV-1 that's like a second ZV-1
version
also.
2, right.
Yeah, it's like a more updated version of the ZV-1. I think they have that too. So in terms of focus, I mean, these are pretty zoomed in right now, aren't they?
So these 2 cameras,
like that is a ZV-1.
Hold on.
And this is a ZV-1.
This camera right here is a...
that one's not it.
This is it. Both of these are ZV-1.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So this camera that's on Nick right now is a Sony ZV-1. And this is a Sony ZV-1. These are 2 Sony ZV-1s. And to back out here, they are right. I'm going to move my hand here. They are right here. Just right out of the frame here for the main shot. Yeah. So that's about how close they are. And they are zoomed in. I don't know what percentage they're zoomed in, but quite a bit. Zoomed in quite a bit. These are good cameras.
Yeah.
These are really good cameras. I'm happy with these cameras. If I were going to purchase another camera and I wanted flexibility, I would get the... What is it? The E10? Yeah. The E10 with the lens. The lens that you can get on it. I would probably get one of those or 2 of those. But if you're on a budget, these are great. These are great little cameras.
But if you are going to dial things in, you can get, like he said, the ZV-E10 reasonably priced camera.
Yeah.
And then for the zoom, you can do it with one of the kits that they get, or you can buy the body separately, and then find a good lens. So if you find a good lens, then you can get, depending on the space that you have, you can get like a 35 millimeter lens, maybe a 50 millimeter lens. And then in that case, you know, how we have to zoom these cameras in order to get that same, you know, cropping. If that had a 50 millimeter on it, then in that case, like it'd probably be cropped to like right here, right now, right? So, so the lens is also going to make a big difference on what it is that you are doing. And I think if I remember correctly, because I have one of the ZV-E10s, and if I remember correctly, I think it has a digital zoom. So even if you get a fixed lens that's like a 50 millimeter, you still can zoom in a little bit on that. So what I would do is I would go to the camera shop. I would get a ballpark distance of what it is that you're doing, and then go to a camera shop. If they still even have physical camera shops, I think they do. But depending on where you're at, I don't know if you'll be able to have one. But if they have any physical, you know, camera shops where you're at, we have them here. But I'm not sure. Because I know, like in America, like they're depending on where you're at, like, you know, there's a lot of malls that are shutting down and stuff. So, but if you can find a local camera shop, then in that case, go in there with that distance in mind and just test it, right? So be like, okay, here's a ZV-1. You know, talk to the person, say, hey, can I put a 50 millimeter on this and see, you know, what that's like. I have one lens. It is a 90 millimeter Sony lens. And it's awesome for like outside photos and, you know, things like that. But you have to be so far away with that lens. Like literally, if I had that lens on the camera, I'd have to be, you know, like over on the other side of the room in order to be able to get a crop that's even remotely close to what it is that I'm doing here without it, you know, being like this. So, you know, so I think the lens is going to be a big part of your setup.
Scale Train Station says those are Sony ZV-1. Yeah, it's a Sony ZV-1. It's not the ZV-1 II. It's not the ZV-EV10.
Yeah, for these,
this is the first,
older ones, yeah.
This is the oldest one, the first generation, and I absolutely love them. You can actually see...
Yeah, I used to use one of these. I'm not sure which one, but one of these used to be my overhead camera on my thing at home that I, when I had my full surround, you know, all the different cameras and stuff, the overhead shots and all that stuff. One of the ZV-1s used to be my overhead shot at home too.
The camera that shoots me, this one right here, just to give you an idea, if you look in the bottom right hand corner of the set here, right where Nick is, right on the far corner, nope, back, yep, right there, that's the lights, that's the stand for the camera. That shouldn't be in the shot.
I can touch the camera, same, just like on Dee's shot,
right?
I'm like one more hand away. You can see my hand here.
Let me turn this just
oh yeah,
so you can see right there.
You can't see, you didn't switch the camera. So this one's the one hitting D right here.
Yep, just that's it. Arms length.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then what I'm moving around is the ZV-1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great little camera.
Yeah, yeah. Like one of the cool things about the ZV-E10 is the lens options, right? So like, for example, like if you're in the States, you can get the ZV-E1 and then you can like order a lens and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try this lens. And then I'm pretty sure with how Amazon works there that you can also, you know, try it. And if you're like, it doesn't really nail it, then you can just send the lens back, right? Mm-hmm. So you have those types of options too, to where you can, you know, commit to the body. And then from there, you know, figure out the lens that you need if you don't have a local camera store that you can go to. Next up on the list, we have Mazzy Artistry. What's going on? Uploads when they have time, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They make storytelling videos about their superhero universe and draw art related to them. Goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, hey guys, finally reached 200 subscribers recently.
Way to go.
Fist bump to you. Nice work on that. Says, I'm working on a video right now. It's getting pretty long, and I haven't uploaded a new video about any characters of mine in a while. I want to upload some videos from time to time and still put out small stuff out there while I work on bigger projects. But I fear that working on those short videos or making shorts will distract me from the main project. So what do you suggest would be the best thing to do? Create a plan. Create a plan, stick to the plan. So say I'm going to do this many, you know, of these types of videos. If you're wanting to make those types of videos, I'm going to do this many of these videos, this many of these videos. I'm going to work on these videos at this time, these videos at this time. And I'm going to publish these videos at this time, and I'm going to publish these videos at this time. But the whole thing is basically just build out a plan of what you're going to create, when you're going to create it, and when you're going to publish it. And all of the steps involved in, you know, the editing process and all that stuff too. So yeah, just create a plan around what you're, you know, what around the content that you want to create, and then, you know, get to following the plan.
Follow the plan.
Follow the plan. Next up, we've got Matt Knoll, the frontline Christian man. They upload 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is encouraging and equipping Christian men. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, if you could take a look at my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate your thoughts on my thumbnails, overall layout, community posts, and shorts. I used to upload a lot of shorts. Over 700 were on my channel, but about a year ago, I deleted them to focus on long-form content. I heard they would hurt my channel. Long-form is more difficult to get going, but I enjoy making them. However, since watching your show, which I really love, thank you so much, I started reintroducing shorts that align with my niche. I'm actually seeing some small growth and traction on my channel since uploading more. I'd love any feedback, positive or constructive, on how I can improve. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all that you and your brother do. So let's take a look. Thanks for the kind words, too. Appreciate it.
Taking a gander. Pulling them up.
Yep. Hey, so next week, D, when I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to have a coffee either, be like, dude, go get a coffee.
Are you dragging?
No, I'm not dragging, but like I can tell a noticeable difference in how my brain is working.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So let's hear. So on Matt's channel here, let's take a look at what it is that you are doing. So one thing that I do recommend, Matt, and with this, I do recommend that you get these off of your homepage. And the reason for that, the reason that I recommend that you don't put shorts on your homepage is because if people come here, you do not want people to get distracted by these. You want people to watch your long form content on your homepage. Now, keep in mind, you know, your homepage isn't getting flooded with viewers like your videos. But when it comes to this, for every person that comes on this page, you want to send them into long form content. So the way that this is all set up is, let's say that I'm watching one of your shorts, right? So I'm going to click into this. Say I'm watching one of your shorts. I'm like, man, this guy's good. Love the message. Everything's great. Let me click over here and see what else they have. YouTube will send them to your shorts page, right? Because they're shorts viewers. They're going to send them over here. So if somebody's watching one of your video pages or one of your videos, then if they click into here and they're watching this and they're like, man, love this guy's message. Everything he's doing is great. Totally on board. What else has he got? They click on your channel name. Then here it takes you to your main YouTube channel. So because of that, I recommend that you follow YouTube's lead on that, and that you send shorts viewers let them find shorts by going up here. And then you keep your channel page focused on that long form video experience. So then that way the people that are seeking out the shorts can find them, versus if you have something here that distracts them from these, then you miss an opportunity here. And the reason that this matters, if it's 5 viewers, it doesn't matter. But if it's, if you start operating at scale, then this matters, because for every person that goes into here, you're losing the AdSense and, all that stuff, and the longer connections and those types of things that you get from, this long form content. So one thing that I would do also is, because you don't really have your channel page optimized to, absorb, that kind of stuff. I would also get more of your videos here organized into playlists based around the different things that you're talking about and the things that people are responding to on the channel.
Can I jump in here on this?
Yeah, sure.
Scroll up to the top where he talks about this. Encouraging and equipping Christian men to stand firm in faith. That's what you're telling people your channel's about. And I want you to go through your videos, and I want you to look at all of your, go to the videos page. Go ahead. Talking to you. Go to the videos page. How many of these videos are speaking to men? Go through them all and look at the one, and look at every single one of them and says, am I trying to have a conversation with Christian men? And for most of these, the answer is no. So I would recommend you trying to think through how you can reframe your content, so when men run across your content, that's who you're trying to reach, according to what you put in your header, that they understand that you're trying to have a conversation with them. Because right now, for the majority of your videos, I'm not seeing anything that's trying to speak to a Christian man specifically. They seem like random conversations that you're having. So just think about how you're framing this based on who it is that you're trying to reach.
Yeah, excellent advice. And another thing too is like here you have like why death doesn't scare me. Just to give you some actionable advice on what Dee's talking about is why death doesn't scare me is one thing, but why death shouldn't scare Christian men is more targeted.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how you make those types of changes.
How Christian men prepare for death.
Right. So you're talking about the same thing. You're just framing it slightly different so that you can connect with the people that you're trying to connect with, or that you're saying up here that you're trying to connect with.
Right. Yeah. Some of these you do have the right approach, but a lot of these are just very general. So I would go through and just rethink the general ones, think how you can reframe them for your packaging. Because you can go back and you can change these.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing in the actual videos themselves, you have the right conversation, but your packaging is what matters in terms of attracting the right type of viewer that you want.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, kind of reframing all of these for men is what you'd want to do.
Christian men.
And one thing to think about also is when you are, like, you don't have to put the word Christian in here, like Dee is talking about there, but because you have God here, then I think Christian, as long as you put men in here somewhere, right, then it's a given. Yeah.
Right.
So, so you just have to make sure that when you're looking at each one of these isolated like this, that when you're looking at it isolated, that you're thinking, okay, when it comes to my thumbnail and title, how does this speak to a Christian man? And one thing that can be really helpful with this is when you are thinking to yourself, like, okay, I'm going to make a video. When you're thinking that to yourself and you are coming up with your video ideas, ask yourself first, okay, if I'm going to make the video talking about this, how can I present this to a Christian man? And how can I make this about a Christian man? Like, what type of imagery am I going to use in the thumbnail? What words, if any, am I going to use in the thumbnail? What am I going to write the title, or what am I going to say in the title to help Christian men know that this is for them, but also be compelling about, the actual value of the video? And make sure that you get clear on that before you commit to making a video, because you want to make sure that however you're setting it up from the outside here, that when they click on it, that's what they get. Right. But if you can set it up right from the out here, you're going to build the right expectation for that group that you're trying to reach. And then when they click into it, you're going to be able to deliver to them exactly what it is that they're expecting from this video.
When God doesn't answer men's prayers, or when God doesn't answer a man's prayer, something like that.
And then when it comes to your shorts, similar things, right? So just like right here, if we look at this top row, it's a very similar situation to where we have, moving forward into God's plan, very general. And then here, another thing to keep in mind is when it comes to YouTube, like if we go to a home page right here, we're going to see some shorts. And as we're scrolling down here, right? And here's one. This is a repurposed short, which is why you don't see it here on mine.
Look at that dummy.
Yep. But like, one of the things is, the imagery, like for example, if you are into like electronic music and you make music, this is going to stand out to you from the imagery. On this one, if you are into hand pans and, that type of stuff, this one's going to stand out from the imagery. So when you are, let's see if I can find an example here of this. Yeah. When you're putting those text titles on your thumbnails, also just making sure, and this is an example of what I was saying to that coding channel earlier. You see what they're doing right here and how they're making this feel like Claude in terms of how they're presenting it. But basically, when it comes to shorts, I'm looking for more like title cards for shorts. Let's keep on going, see if we can find any. The idea that I'm trying to express, if I can find any more shorts here, let me just refresh it, see what it shows me. Is that you want, I'm not finding any good title cards here, but basically what you're wanting is you're wanting it to where keep moving forward doesn't give any information, right? But instead of keep moving forward, moving forward into God's plan, it has something, God related in here. Here you have it with the Holy Spirit, right? But here, keep moving forward in your Christian journey, or, whatever language it is you want to use there. But this is another one to where, you want to add that clarity for your viewers. Here, what makes a real man, what makes a real man. You're losing the Christian people here in terms of the packaging from the outside, but you're nailing it with men. Here, God looks at the heart of a man. This one's good, right? This right here makes it clear, like this has something to do with religion in some way, and this has something to do with men in some way. And then you kind of repeat it, down here. So because of that, I would make sure that you are also making these title cards clear that it's for Christian men in some way. You don't have to say for Christian men or, like that, but you just want to make it to where if a Christian man were to see this on their homepage without reading the title, that they would be able to see that this has something to do with religion, like right here. So then from there, maybe you can push them over the edge or get them in there, with the male language in the title itself. So yeah, so really just dialing that sort of thing in is going to be really helpful for your channel. Of course, video, like the experience they have in the content's going to matter too. But that's step one in terms of like, okay, how can I make people that don't know about this? How can I help them recognize it? And one additional thing with this is, let me pull this up here real quick. Is like if we're looking at this and we take the titles off, right? One exercise I like to do with people is saying like, if you didn't have your title attached to this video, then would your target viewer, would the information that's here? And I think these do to an extent because you have God in here, but you're missing some of the other, stuff. But because you have God, the title itself could have the men information in there. You don't have to stamp that into the thumbnail because the God's going to grab their attention. But when you're looking at your thumbnails, you want to think like, okay, like this one, that's not you, right? So on this one, this doesn't let you know from the outside that this has anything to do with religion in terms of capturing people's attention so that they'll read the title, right? So just that exercise by looking at it without the title attached can also be helpful in just making sure that, whatever it is that you're doing in the thumbnail is going to help capture somebody's attention when this shows up anywhere on YouTube for that audience you're trying to reach. Our pleasure. So next up on the list, we have...
Yes, our lives are available for replay when this is over.
Mm-hmm. So next up, we have the What If Show channel. They upload one time per week or more. They do education and 2D animations. The goal is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, do you think my packaging and video quality is good and my AI voice too? So we're not going to listen to the AI voice, so we don't play videos just for copyright reasons and stuff like that. I don't know the music you have playing or anything like that in the videos, so we don't do that. But I can look at your thumbnails.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this channel asked, and correct me if I'm wrong, if it was somebody else, I think someone asked, what do we think about AI voices? And you just mentioned AI voices. That's why I'm thinking it might have been the same channel.
Yeah, I think AI voices are fine to an extent. Like if the content's good and the AI voice isn't obviously AI, then in that case, I think it's okay. And I think it also depends on the age range that you're targeting.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people right now with like AI channels, a lot of people are targeting like older people and stuff like that because some older people just don't notice. Yeah, right. They like a lot of them don't even know this stuff's going on. So because of that, they're able to put those voices in there and nobody knows any different. So because of that, they don't have to be as strict about, the particular voices they're choosing and things like that. And then you have people that are reaching, other people. And, like D, for example, he has, some AI content that he puts on other platforms.
My TikTok channel on that, you can't tell.
Right. And with that, though,
Yeah,
you spent how long working on that voice, just getting it in?
Oh, man, I took a while.
Yeah, so he took
I used 11 Labs and created a voice from scratch. And I did a lot of iterations on that. And I landed on one. You cannot tell it is AI. Even to trained ears, you can't tell that it's AI.
Right. Yeah, it's really good.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's just taking that time up front, right? To be like, okay, how can I get this in? I'm not just going to go grab something random that, that people are going to run across on, 100 different videos or 100 different channels. Instead, I'm going to try to, make something that is going to be more unique to me so that if they run across it, it's going to, feel like a creator's channel instead of it feeling like something that is, probably just taken from, 11 Labs or something like that and then just plastered all over the internet. So, so when it comes to AI voices, you want to put in that effort in order to create something that is, more unique to you, and that helps you present your stuff in a more unique way as well. And it gives you a little bit of branding stuff there too, in terms of people just connecting with that voice when it comes to your content.
I generally don't have a big problem with AI voice. Even like Adam.
Yeah.
There's an AI
Yeah.
voice, Adam, that
Yeah.
everybody uses. It's,
Yep.
it's really popular with short form content. You can't
Yeah, it was like
believe
the most popular one when it
yeah,
first popped out.
His name is Adam.
Yeah.
For short form content, I don't have a problem with that voice. I
Yeah.
scroll it up and it's like, you wouldn't believe what
Right.
they did in Egypt or
Right.
whatever the voice
Yeah,
is.
like it almost has its own category now. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah. But it's not bad though. Like
Right.
you know what it is when you hear it.
Yep.
And you're just like, okay.
Okay, well,
And-
what's this information that Adam's sharing with me then?
right.
Yeah,
Usually
yeah.
it's something interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So my thought is this: if you have something interesting, and even if you make it look good, and your AI voice, if somebody can tell that it's AI, I'm okay with it if the information is good. If it's something that's interesting and you can really hold my interest with that. But if it's a bad AI voice and it's just dragging on and wasting my time and it's not really going anywhere and you're trying to get as much watch time as possible, that's a big turnoff. That's a really big turnoff. And you mentioned that you can't afford a voiceover actor, so you're using AI voices. So
that's cool. Yeah, no problem with AI voice in that regard. Yeah, yeah.
there's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
I would just say really put in the work to try to find the most realistic AI voice that you can. I think that's going to do wonders. Like I said, I have a TikTok channel that does. I get viral videos on there all the time, millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and it has an AI voice, and you can't tell. So
Glad you're
it's
enjoying the
fine.
content, Rhonda.
It's fine.
Yeah. So when it comes to the channel, I think your thumbnails look interesting. So, hey, or no moon, if the moon disappeared, why Earth would fall apart.
You know what?
One thing that I wouldn't do is
I'm
I
getting
wouldn't.
Cursic stat vibes with that.
I was thinking that too, but I wouldn't put 2D explainer video on there. Just like give the message, like what is it that you're offering here in the video in terms of why somebody should watch this. In terms of putting the 2D explainer on there, I wouldn't even worry about that.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah. So just focus it on what the video is about and not so much on the 2D animation explainer. Nobody cares about that.
What are they doing in their actual video?
Yeah, if possible also for the sake of, just creating, a brand of some kind. Just not creating just a brand, but creating a familiar experience for people. I would also try to use similar styles as well. So maybe you are, but this looks wildly different to me than this does, and that looks wildly different to me than this does in terms of the style.
Yeah.
So I would pick something. Like that's one of the things that the successful AI channels are doing really well is that they have, like they've designed their own like looks and all of that so that when people are interacting with it, like it feels like theirs, right? So I would definitely pick a style that you're going to roll with and use that in all of the videos.
And I see you have some recurring characters, or at least a recurring character in some of them.
Yeah, that like robot thing wherever he was.
Like, I don't know if they're actually in your video at all the videos or not, but
He's right here
that can
too,
help you stand out as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think like this one, no moon. If the moon disappeared, why Earth would fall apart. When it comes to titles, and this is one of those nuanced things, is when it comes to titles, like this is okay, right? Why Earth would fall apart, but if the moon disappeared, this is what would happen. Makes it a little bit more, gives it a little bit more oomph there. Or this would happen if we didn't have a moon, that sort of thing. So the whole thing is you're basically, just leaving it open instead of, giving away like, why the Earth would fall apart. So then it just creates a little bit more curiosity behind it too. So I would do that kind of stuff as well. And when it comes to things like this, if you are saying no AI here, but you're using an AI voice, then you're misleading people, like in this one over here. So because of that, if you are using an AI voice and you have no AI, I don't know if you're doing that in some of these other ones, but if you are using AI voices in here, I wouldn't put the no AI on there because you're misleading people. Yeah, they have that character up here, 2D.
Do they say tech reviews? Go back to the top.
It just says tech science and no AI. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's not AI. They could be doing all these animations themselves. Did they say?
Well, I don't know, but they said they're doing voiceover AI.
AI, okay.
So
yeah, maybe you are doing the animations, but if you are doing the voiceovers as AI, I wouldn't put the no AI in there.
Yeah.
But keep in mind when it comes to this type of content, because of AI, the moat that you have around it, like, you know, I would be aggressively trying to figure out how to make, and I'm sure you already are, but I would be aggressively trying to figure out how to make these as good as you possibly can, because the amount of, like, you don't have a large moat, meaning that AI tools right now can make a lot of, you know, different animation styles and things like that. And because of that, you know, it makes competition and all of that, you know, pretty fierce with some of this stuff. So, so just be mindful of that as well. And I would be doing everything you can to make the videos as good as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a rule of thumb anyway, but
They
I added
said-
no AI design and animation only. And thank you so much for all the info. Okay, so you don't have any AI in here except for the voice. Okay, that's cool. But still, I wouldn't put that label on there if the voice is AI.
Yeah, people aren't gonna like stop to read all the little fine print on there or
Right.
whatever. They're just gonna glance at it, and all they're gonna see is no AI. We did,
Right.
right? That's what we did.
Yeah, I was looking to see if they had the AI tag on here too.
Yeah.
On one of the videos that isn't AI, where it doesn't say AI, but they don't have it.
Yeah. If you had a human voice, I think that works. But by using an AI, people are probably going to, like, unless you have a really good AI voice, the average person is going to be able to tell that it's an AI voice. And if so, after you've said no AI, if they didn't read the small print on there about saying, you know, no AI animations or something.
Most people probably aren't even going to see that notice anyway.
Yeah.
But still, just to be, transparent with what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, Roberto says they mean no AI for the video and thumbs, but are using AI voice.
Yep. Yeah, so since that isn't clear in the thumbnail, then I think they should take that off of the...
Yeah, I mean, you can take it off. I mean, at this stage, I mean, AI content is everywhere, especially with the facial stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think, I mean, your content is interesting. And as long as your animations are good and your storytelling is good and the AI voice is even decent, I would watch it. Yeah. I don't really care if it's...
Not the same way, I don't care either.
If it's good content, I wouldn't care.
So on that note, I do want to remind you of a couple different things. So the very first is, for those of you that don't know, we have a school that we started for YouTubers called Tuber School, where we're helping content creators with all kinds of things around their YouTube channels. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can find out more at tuberschool.com. And we also have a bunch of helpful things for you down in the video description as well. So make sure that you do check those out if you're on a device that's easy to get down to the video description. And I also want to remind you that if you are a content creator that's uploading short form content and you are uploading that content on a regular basis, Opus Clip right now, they are doing a really cool thing where they are giving content creators free access to this tool that they created in exchange for feedback. So I'm going to drop a link to that into the chat right now. So basically with this tool, it helps you edit your shorts together and adds graphics to them and things like that. So it's like a workflow tool for your shorts. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can check that out at producer.opus.pro. And besides that, D, great stream.
Great stream. Again.
Yep. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. If you're in America, have a happy 4th of July.
Go out and barbecue.
Enjoy your fireworks, your barbecues.
Some bottle rockets.
Bottle
with your
rockets,
hands.
yeah, Roman candles, like the whole thing. Go out there, have a good time for America. And we will see you
Don't lose any fingers. 'cause
next
that
time.
Can happen.
Yep.
Fireworks.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Nimin Live. Remember to check out our sponsors and other useful resources in the description below this stream. See you next week.